I just did this, but you didn't see it because we weren't streaming. I must tell you, if you're thinking about streaming on any of the platforms, don't use Restream. They're sons of bitches. Listen to me now. Remember this later. Reid, we have exclusive stuff on Joy Reid. The word exclusive is overused, but not in this case. You are going to love what's coming on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.
Well, hello. I'm Matt. Welcome to the good life. I do a little radio show from my backyard in the Hills Casino. I'm a lucky guy. In fact, I'd say luckier than most. I have lots of friends that I like to call stars. Hey, in fact, there's one now. You probably know Ryan Stiles, Drew Carey Show. Whose line is it anyway? Black Hawk Down?
I wasn't in Black Hawk Down, Matt. That wasn't me, okay? What are you doing here?
The gate was actually open. I thought I'd take a little jacuzzi-roo.
I got company coming over, okay? People that matter, okay? Get up, go.
Bubbles feel so good,
Look,
Ryan.
Matt, you know what? You gotta stop doing this, okay? I can't be coming home with the wife and kids and you're in my tub, okay? Just get out.
I'm not wearing nothing.
Doohickey, you know, the doohickey that rolls.
Hi, this is Meatloaf. Okay, kids, you know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's Outlaw Radio time!
The most imitated radio station in the nation.
I'm through with standing in line for some fun to begin, but I found a good thing leaving me with a grin. It's time for Outlaw Radio to begin.
You have the great Billy Gibbons here? Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yes, he just passed out.
Oh,
Yeah. Hey, that didn't sound too bad. Huh?
Had to lighten him up loud. Oh, man. We're here with Matt. Oh, yeah. Had to lighten up. Oh, little Outlaw Radio. We're here with Matt.
And he's not fat.
We got all these guys and girls in the house. Let me tell you, that's where it's at. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Allen. Pass me a gallon.
Let's see, 5 accomplishments from the past week. Anyone? Tattoo Dave, would you be fired by the government?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My brother Mart, 5 accomplishments. You got
can't
to
hear it.
turn
Yeah.
on. My brother Mart's Mike. Yeah. Anything?
Yeah, I dug a hole this week. 5 days in a row.
There we go. 5 holes in 1 week. Mark C.G. Boyer, I hate to ask you, but I will. And he's not answering. Anyone?
I will be fired quickly.
Come on now. Hey, this Charlie Arnault. She, and her name is Charlie. So
does eating a bag of chips and donuts, does that count as an accomplishment?
it's one of these Charlies with a female name. Born in 1987, and I read that now and I think, oh, son of a bitch. These are women in their late 30s, born in the 80s. Yikes. She is a regular on Fox, and I guess she's an interviewer from WWE and a backup host and moderator on ESPN's First Take. And I mention her because she's filling in for the gal who was pregnant on... who is that? Buckwald? No. Who is that dude? He's the guy that is killing late night. I can never think of his name. It's like a Freudian thing for me, but he's the funny guy on Fox. And he does the show that is killing all the network late night shows. This gal has been filling in, and she is kicking ass. And by the way, hot as hell. Little Italian gal.
Never seen her.
Oh, yes. I bet if you've seen her, you would have saw her. And she's only, she comes off as a gal who is much taller than 5'2". 5'2", and man, does she, I would love to sit in that seat, sort of upside down. Okay.
Perfect height.
Yeah,
Perfect height.
this is bad. This is bad for the show. We are, we of course lean conservative on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio, on YouTube, on Rumble, on X, and little utterings from my pie hole like that. I don't think it does us any good. Anyone? I just don't.
It doesn't hurt us.
Yeah, I think it may.
Nah.
I think in the big picture, I'll tell you who was not only hurt but mummified. Gene Hackman, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Why does toxicology and these sort of findings take months?
Shouldn't.
Right.
Shouldn't.
Right.
They could do it in a day.
100%.
Forensics. They already friggin' know.
They are consistent when anything like this happens.
Yeah.
Well, this could take months. Why? How on earth does this take months?
By the way, his kids. The first fishy part to me was his kids. Gene, his kids said right away, we think it's carbon dioxide poisoning.
Yeah.
Like, why'd you come up with this so quickly? And it wasn't. That was proven out.
Oh, that's
They
weird.
did do that toxicology.
Yeah, they did
it
supposedly,
fast.
and they said
That's
nothing.
gone.
Right.
And even the dog, they did one on him. The dog didn't have it. And
Right.
two of the dogs lived.
Well, that's because they weren't stuck in a cage where they could. That dog that was in that
Oh,
cage.
he starved to death.
Yeah, poor thing,
Yeah,
man.
So, but and there's a lot to it. She was 63. He was 95. Gene Hackman. I mean, my God.
Yeah.
Sort
of a great actor.
Oh, God.
But I just don't understand this because we all
Something's up.
it seems to me we take it for granted that toxicology, you always hear from the quote-unquote experts,
Yeah.
and you know they're full of crap when there's an expert in their title.
They said she had been dead a lot longer than him.
Yeah, but mummified. But now they're saying it could have been around the same time. But mummified.
Yeah.
My God, that's no way to be found.
Well, they said he had a pacemaker, and the last recorded instance was February 17th.
Yeah, so they're talking Feb 17th now.
11 days or 10 days.
And he was found in the mud room, quote unquote, the mud room, or as the village people refer to it, the boudoir. The boudoir. It's the mud room. And this is in Santa Fe, New Mexico, my friends. You know, I know.
Randy Jones, the original cowboy from Village People.
Why does he start? Why does Randy? What's going on here? Why does he not start a sentence? Why does he just say his name right off the bat? That sounds weird to me. Yes, Randy?
Howdy, this is Randy Jones, the original cowboy from Village People.
Oh, that
You're
guy.
listening to Magic Matt, my pal. Hey, Matt, how's it out there in the garage?
Well, I will tell you, Randy, if you will tell me how things are in the mud room, and a.k.a. the boudoir. Am I the only one that gets this? So
I
February.
think No Way Out was one of Hackman's greatest movies with Sean Young.
Every movie. He's one of these guys that was never. He was never cast in the wrong movie.
Never in a bad movie.
Yeah, he was never cast in the wrong movie.
Hoosier is possibly the best sports film
But
ever.
can you imagine Feb 17th?
Yeah,
This movie superstar, no one checked on this dude
kid's
for
finally
several
dead.
weeks?
Yeah.
Wow. So he must have been sort of a shut-in. I saw a little video of Gene Hackman in downtown Santa Fe, and it's like, well, that's not Gene Hackman. That's a mummy who happens to be walking. He was looking real 95. Now, I know guys who are in their 93, 94. They don't look like that. But he looked undernourished. And the fact that, I believe that he was driving his own vehicle as well. But the guy, it's just, the great thing about Santa Fe, New Mexico, with the exception of the great Gene Hackman living there for years, I had one of the greatest burgers of my life. And it was enjoyed at a gas station / cafe with these gorgeous Hatch chilies about 30 years ago in Santa Fe. It's a great little town. I probably wouldn't do well there because it's very woke lefty.
Well, who got the estate? Who got his money? His kids did, and that's where you got to think.
I don't
You got to
think.
wonder.
I don't think. He's 95. Why would you off a 95-year-old guy who is...
Maybe they're sick of waiting around.
Nah.
His daughter's 58.
Yeah, no, and he's but
Come on,
what
does
he's
that
gonna?
mean?
They can't hang out for another 4
Maybe
years.
not. She's 58. Good point, Mark. That makes my point.
And
Thank you.
and that maggot Andrew Cuomo back for round 2 of Let's Kill New York. Andrew Cuomo, senior citizen killing son of a bitch, throws his soiled, stanky hat in the ring for mayor this time
Soiled
of New
and
York City. You think he effed up your state? You haven't seen nothing yet. He goes on this diatribe, and it's out there. It just hit today, and my God, it's ponderous. Like he is ponderous. There's about 18 minutes of how he's going to fix New York City.
He's a baby.
This guy I can't stand, and he killed poor senior citizens. Do the math on this. I was right about this, not one to boast. In the very beginning, I had arguments about this, and then the truth came out during the C word. You know that flu thing we went through? So the last thing you should do is vote for this guy. But most likely the first thing you'll do, especially if you live in Manhattan, you will probably vote for this guy so quick it'll make your head spin because he's such a name and everyone knows his face. And forget about his accomplishments or the things he did to detract from the great state of New York. Doesn't matter. Well, we know the guy, and he's a New Yorker. Well, so is Donald Trump. A bona fide dyed-in-the-wool New Yorker. A man who grew up there. A man who put up many a skyscraper there. But yet you folks in Manhattan have a problem with Donald Trump. But because you know this guy who screwed up the state of New York once already, he wants to grab hold of Manhattan, New York City, and ruin that as well.
You think this is the first time in American history that a president has kicked somebody out of the White House?
Yeah, I'll get to that. Oh, yeah, I got a rundown on that. And I've got some exclusive Joy Reid audio that you will never hear anywhere else. I promise you that. And
She's such a lovely.
I swear to you, it is worth your time. And I want you to know that buymeabourbon.com automatically registers you as a soldier in Allen's Army. You can become a true American-loving freedom fighter, and all of the benefits are included. We are going to have beautiful pendants that we will send out to everyone that buys the boys a bourbon on this show at buymeabourbon.com. And you will become a soldier in Allen's Army. And I'm thinking, why not?
They get a pendant?
Yeah, I'm putting this together.
No, I mean, that's cool. I'm thinking pendant. It's like the KISS Army. And little patches and stuff.
Yes.
So on your,
all of that.
right? Stickers.
Yes.
Right, okay. I'm down.
Yes. I mean, why not buy us a bourbon at buymeabourbon.com? And someone posted on last week's show on our YouTube page in the comment section, and please do that. It helps with the analytics because YouTube hates us. So it can't hurt. But someone posted that their dream is to come to the show here in Los Angeles. And I wanted to mention to that person, and I forgot. And my apologies. I didn't write down your name, but I will get to your name. You'll probably perhaps post again. I'm thinking the first step in being invited to this show is probably buy us a bourbon.
Well, he confused me on that when I read that because he said, it'll make my dreams come true.
Right.
And then he said his age, but then he said something about not make a wish, but it sounded like he was on his way out, but he's only 33. He said, I'm 33 years old.
Yeah, so I hope he's not dying. Buymeabourbon.com. That's where you'll find us. And most of the smart people are saying, buy one bourbon? No, 2 or 3.
Right.
Am I wrong about this, Dave?
No, of course not.
Okay. All right.
You're never wrong.
Buymeabourbon.com. And big weekend, my friends, Academy Awards.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, big Academy Awards weekend.
Did that already happen? Or is that...
Have you heard about these prize packages?
They're insane.
Oh, my God, the amount of money.
They're not prize packages. They're given to every invited guest.
Over $200,000 worth of gifts.
Wow. I want to say last year there was a Rolex included.
Who's financing that? Just different companies, different venues?
Well, just another another big arrow that points to too much money in Hollywood. Yeah. You know, I mean, this is, I often think I've done a movie or two, not one to boast, and believe me, I ain't boasting.
I've been in one movie.
But in those movies that I have been in, 5 or 6, you always have that catering or what they call
Craft.
Tattoo
Craft
Dave craft
service.
services,
Yeah.
right? And why is this the only business where folks are allowed to eat free on the set?
I know.
No one's lunch is usually purchased for them in just the regular working man or woman
No,
sector.
on my job site, we have lunch trucks that show up on the street, but we don't get it for free.
This tells you and shows you how friggin' incredibly spoiled these bastards are.
I mean, I'll tell you,
Because we're not talking about usually the crappiest craft services is better than most folks eat for lunch.
I was 3
It's like
weeks.
walking into a 7-Eleven.
It is, yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. And those are the bad ones. So
But I'll tell you, the analogy is half what right, but for the most part, the reason that this is done is because the cast, nobody can leave.
Yeah.
You cannot leave.
Good. As a high-paid actor or actress, bring your own food.
Or have it delivered.
You know, because in your trailer, I know there's a refrigerator.
Absolutely.
So bring some food in. I'm telling you, there's no salient argument for this except these are spoiled effing brats in Hollywood, which is right over there. I'm pointing there for those of you watching me on YouTube. It's right over there, about 8 miles. You spoiled friggin' brats.
I was on the set of Diagnosis.
You entitled sons of bitches. Yes, Mart?
I was on the set of Diagnosis Murder for 3 weeks. I did 3 episodes, and that food truck, that craft service,
incredible,
Dick
right?
Van Dyke would eat off that thing, and that's how good it was. And I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of these, like, you know, guest appearance actors and stuff. I sat with a couple of them. They're like, "Man, did you try the pork chops? Did you try the blah, blah, blah?" It's
They have
really gourmet
they're
stuff.
Incredible food.
Well, I'll tell you what, a little tidbit is, so we have craft service, we have catering,
Mm-hmm.
and then the craft service people will bring in a meal after breakfast, in between breakfast and lunch,
Oh, yeah.
and then a second meal after lunch, between lunch and
Glass of wine, sir.
And
9 times out of 10, it's better than the caterer.
And P.S., for those of you who have never been on a movie set, first of all, you're not missing anything.
No.
Secondly,
Brutal.
The one item you will never miss as it's being catered on every movie set are, for some reason, red vines.
Yep.
For some reason, there's the big, you see those in Costco?
Mark's drooling right now.
Yeah, the big-ass plastic container of red. They're always there.
Yep.
Always there. I don't understand this.
They're cheap.
Is that it?
No,
What is
nothing to do with it.
But then what is it? Is there a Red Vines union associated with AFTRA and SAG?
I believe that's correct.
I mean, there was a deal that went down some years ago.
Red Vine sponsor.
Because I even think when Charlie Chaplin was performing
red
in movies,
vines.
there were red vines. Even before they called them red vines, they called them red plasticky, rubbery thingies. But they ate them.
Elvis Presley was doing Blue Hawaii, and he said, "Where's those red vine? I need a red vine."
So over $200,000, and I'll get to some of the contents of these ridiculous. I mean, it's a $200,000 gift bag with there's a $240 cutting board, a premium tea gift box, a $1,500 pocket square, a year supply of breathable makeup foundation, a personalized backgammon set, cannabis products, eco-friendly face towel, vegan leather passport wallets, a luxury lip care set. And those freebies, they don't count as taxable income for Oscar nominees.
Oh, wow.
No. And there's even more expensive memberships and experiences. An Ancestry DNA personalized genealogy report valued at $25,000. Other stuff included $25,000 in liposuction treatments.
Yes.
A $23,000 trip to a resort in the Maldives, or is it Maldives?
Maldives.
I've never gotten that because I've never been there. But I've been to Barstow, and I still call it Barsta. So, and a $5,200 stay at a 5-star hotel in Barcelona, all included. If you are an attendee or a nominee, is it just nominees or attendee?
I think it's invited nominees.
It's just ridiculous. $200,000 gift bags for
telling
Oscar
you,
nominees.
Last year or the year before, there was a Rolex in the bag.
Yeah, no.
A Rolex.
Yeah, it's insanity. It is insanity. So it's a big weekend, and here's the good news, because I like it when my friends do well. My buddy Rick Dees, you've heard of Rick Dees? He will call on occasion and say, "Magic Matt, God bless you, and I just love what you do." And what is it you do?
Yeah.
But Rick, he was hired to cut the commercial for Best Song for the Academy Awards.
Oh.
Now, I like it when and Rick, does he need the extra, who knows, 10 grand, 20 grand? No. But that has never stopped him. And I love it when friends and good people, the rich get richer as long as they're not morons.
Well, they better mention Gene Hackman at these awards.
Mark,
They are going to. They've already.
Mark,
they've
that's
already
going to be the
announced it.
that's going to be the entire Academy Awards, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Gene.
That's the only reason I'll watch
Everyone on stage will mention how much they hate Trump and how much they love Gene Hackman.
There you go.
That's what you can count on. This is the great Rick Dees. It's less than 60 seconds, and I think you'll get a kick out of this, but listen to these pipes, as we call it in the business. This guy has never lost a damn thing. He's got the voice, and the editing of this is tremendous. Rick Dees commercial for Best Song at the Academy Awards.
The Academy Awards 2025 Best Original Song nominees: Zoe Saldana, El Mal. Like a Bird from Sing Sing. H.E.R. The Journey from 688.
By the way, haven't heard of any of these. None.
Ever, that's why I laugh.
Selena Gomez, Mi Camino.
What?
And our choice to win the Academy Award for Best Original Song 2025, Sir Elton John, Never Too Late.
Didn't even know he had a song. Good.
The Academy Awards Best Original Song 2025, hosted by three-time Academy Award winner Magic Matt Allen.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, it's Rick Dees.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, well, that's the point.
I know.
Are you really hosting the?
What? Yes.
Oh, that's
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. For those of us watching us, those of you out there watching us a week late, you'll say, oh, he really did. He really did. And did he say a damn thing about Gene Hackman? Well, yeah, a little something about the mud room. And the fact that the village people call the mud room the boudoir. Nobody? Nobody gets that?
I get it, but we get it, but it's just like, come on. That's kind of low.
It's disgusting.
It is disgusting. It is disgusting. But damn it, that's
We're
funny.
not playing this game.
That's funny. Well, then, instead of playing the game, why not buymeabourbon.com? Buy a bourbon or two, and I'll look up your name, or have Tattoo Dave look up your name from last week. The person whose dream it is, I guess on their bucket list, is to visit this show. Now, our buddy Steve in Wausau.
Abbott.
Yeah, old Steve Abbott, our dive bar maven, he was here twice on the show and didn't buy us one bourbon.
No.
And he got away with it too. How about that?
He's the initiator of sending stuff.
Yeah,
so,
he is.
so
Yeah,
you gotta-
he certainly is.
Yeah.
But we don't give our address out to just everyone. But this is another Wisconsinite who happens to have as one of his dreams to be here in the Lighten Up Lounge, this 1876 Virginia City,
Boy,
Nevada style
that's a-
bar,
that's a dream.
sitting next to Billy Dilly, our Marine. Yes, that is one of his big dreams. Okay, I don't have time for this, Joy Reid, but when I do, I guarantee you, you're going to know that this was worth your time. Joy Reid, first of all, crying, and we all heard that. Yeah. But then, a little behind the scenes Joy Reid that you've never heard, and I think I have time to get to this. USDA is now warning egg prices could rise by 41% in 2025. As if they're not expensive enough. The Department of Agriculture this week said that egg prices could spike 40% because of the bird flu outbreaks, and dumb old Biden killed off a bunch of just minding their own business, a bunch of chickens.
A bunch.
Yeah.
Like 30 billion.
The main reason egg prices have increased, now dig this, hitting an all-time average high of $4.95 per dozen last month. I read that and thought, I
Sounds
would
good to
love
me.
I would love to pay $4.95 per dozen.
Yeah,
not here in California,
exactly,
man.
that's everywhere but California.
Here in
Yeah.
California, we're talking
No, they're not
$15,
$20.
$16. If you get a real bargain, it's $10. More than 166 million birds have been slaughtered to limit the spread of the virus. And you think this was a real thing? No. It's another big scam-a-lama ding-dong. Most were egg-laying hens since the start of the year. More than 30 million egg-laying hens have been culled. And I say happy Easter as we go to break. What are we waiting for? All right, we'll do this thing. Am I going to get to the Joy Reid next? Because we will dissect what went down in the White House the other day. But this Joy Reid exclusive, you're going to get one heck of a kick. And Kim Basinger rejects Hollywood's intimacy coordinator fad. I think I'm liking this broad. She's not woke. At least she doesn't come off woke. We'll be this after back on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio on YouTube, on Rumble, and of course, X.
Like the legend of the Phoenix. All ends with beginnings. What keeps the planet spinning? The force from the beginning. Look. We've come too far to give up who we are. So let's raise the bar and our cups to the stars. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Outlaw Radio.
The staccato hoofbeats of a golden palomino, carrying a man who fights wherever justice needs a champion.
Magic Matt Allen.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I didn't tell you. Who wouldn't want one of them $200,000 gift bags for 2025 Oscar nominees? I'm not nominated. But my God, $200,000 gift bags? Most people don't make that in a month. It's just ridiculous. Just way too much money in Hollywood. I don't hold it against anyone who makes a ton of money, but they're spoiled little brats, and you know it. Hollywood Jews are hitting back against pro-Gaza red hand pins at Oscars. So Mark is shaking his head while he's nodding, meaning you're aware of this.
Yes, I am.
And what is your take on this as your mic becomes louder?
It is saying that they approve of what the Palestinians did.
Right, but I'm asking your take on this.
And that's my take. That I agree with that.
You what?
I agree with the take that that the pins suggest that it was okay for
what the hell are you
Palestinians
talking about?
to do what they did.
So Mark agrees that the Jews should be killed?
I think that's what he
I
said.
agree. That's what the pin says.
Isn't that what he just said? I mean,
Pretty sure we just lost the wrong
No,
person.
it's the take on what the pin means.
No, don't be pretty sure. You're 100% correct, Auntie Dave.
God.
It's like I asked him a simple question.
And I answered
And no, you did not. Let me explain why you did not. I said, what is your take on this?
And my take
That's
is
not
the
your-
same as others.
Oh, great.
Wait, which is what?
That the pins represent that it was okay
Oh
for
my
the
God.
Palestinians to do what they did.
Mark, I'm going to try this. Mark, that has been established. You see, that the red hand pins at the Oscars, that has been established.
What's your take on it?
Why they are there. That has been established. There's no gray area as to what they mean. I'm simply asking a bona fide 100% dyed-in-the-wool Jew in Mark C.G. Boyer his take on that.
What's your
you see
take
what
on
sort of trouble I get in?
Yeah.
I ask a simple question. Well, my take is that here's what they mean. What they mean? This is not about what the pins mean.
We already know what they mean. What's your take? What's your feeling on it? Let's dumb it down. What's your
My
feeling
feeling
on
is
it?
disgusting.
Is
That would have been a much better answer.
That would have been so quick and easy.
Oh, yeah.
We would have been so further along right now.
Yeah, show would have been done. Hey,
Thanks for coming.
A Hollywood Jewish group called out those in the industry looking to wear red hand pins in support of Gaza.
What do those mean?
In the what? Let's ask Mark. Hey, Mark, what does the red pin mean? Are there those wearing them at the Oscars? Do you have a take on what they mean?
Not anymore.
And please, Mark.
He's all buttered.
Mark, at least do me a favor here and promise me that you're not going to justify your answer, right? You're not going to just somehow, because Mark will justify things like hitting cars when he's driving, almost. He will justify, well, they shouldn't have pulled out there. Well, it's like, but as a driver, you have
that
to.
telephone pole shouldn't have dropped down in front of me.
That parked car jumped out and hit me.
You need to look both ways. I mean, you do. But
Sure.
You're not
Waking up Mark C.G. Boyer and remembering the time he got his head stuck in a 30-ounce bag of Doritos.
Worst day of my life.
I love that, but if Tattoo Dave would have said, let's ask Alexa
no setup
about Mark C.G. Boyer. You need a setup, right? My peeps who are watching us on YouTube and Rumble and X. And,
Showbiz, you need a setup.
And
Matt, let's ask Alexa what she thinks about
and the finest radio stations in America. I think that's a great idea. Alexa, tell us a little something about Mark C.G. Boyer.
Sure. Waking up Mark C.G. Boyer and remembering the time he got his head stuck in a 30-ounce bag of Doritos.
See, because Mark C.G. Boyer is known to sleep on the show. Now, I would love to tell you that it's shtick. It ain't. He sleeps on the show.
And eats a lot of chips.
And that's because, I guess, I was going to say we're boring, but he finds the worst sort of comedy funny. So, I think it could be...
We're really coming after him
It could be a credit to us that Mark C.G. Boyer finds our content boring. Kim Basinger rejects Hollywood's intimacy coordinator fad.
Always love that.
This has been going on for a few years now, right? Are you aware of this, Tattoo Dave?
Vaguely, not too much.
Yeah, she says, I don't see all this need for supervised visits. She is no stranger to cinematic sex scenes. Oh, man. How hot.
She is not.
Just
right?
so hot.
Yeah.
Just so
What's the
hot.
one where she was on the car or the piano flopping around and that
That's
little
not
dress?
her. That's not her.
Yeah,
No, Susan Sarandon.
That was and that's not her either. Kim Basinger expressed ambivalence over the rise of intimacy coordinators during the post-Me Too era, speaking with Variety just a few weeks ago about her storied career, and boy, does she have one. The former Batman and 9.5 Weeks star likened intimacy coordinators
9.5 weeks
to supervised visits. She says, I can't imagine having somebody come up to me and say, do you mind if they put their hand there? That's what this intimacy thing, that's what they do.
So that ruins the whole feeling of the scene.
That's just another person in the room. Either we work it out or we don't, she said. I don't see all this need for supervised visits. Actress Mikey Madison recently sparked controversy when she revealed not wanting an intimacy coordinator on the set when filming Anora. It was a choice that I made, Madison said in a conversation with Pamela Anderson, one of the great actresses in the history of cinema.
Oh, isn't she?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Though Madison said that director Sean Baker and his wife producer Samantha Kwan offered an intimacy coordinator, she and her co-star ultimately decided they would be best to keep it small. I guess that's a negative on that idea.
And
that
yes,
concept.
you're correct, of course. I was thinking of Michelle Pfeiffer in that movie.
We were able to streamline it, shoot it super quickly, Madison said. I think with intimacy coordination, it's a case-by-case basis, film-by-film basis. Well, yeah. What about, do they have one of these on the set of a porn movie? You don't make a fist. I mean, isn't that what you'd hear? Yeah, stay out of the mud room.
But like I said before, don't you think it would ruin the shot? I would take the emotion out of the shot.
If you're a true thespian like my own self, yes, it would screw up the scene for me.
Yeah.
Because in these intimate shots, you need to put and touch.
Well,
and then sniff around. If an actor requests 100%, but I have directed approximately 10 sex scenes throughout my career, And I'm very comfortable doing so. It is our number one priority to keep our actors safe, protected, comfortable, and involved in the process. Well, no,
Can't have all
no,
those.
you're lying. That is not your number one priority. Your number one priority is to make a film where you make an S-load of money. That is the number one priority. Now, do we want our actors and actresses to be safe? Of course we do. Actor Michael Douglas also recently suggested the filming of sex scenes has become stifled by the presence of intimacy coordinators in post-Me Too Hollywood. I'm past the age, yes, you are, Michael Douglas. Why are you such a woke lefty? An outspoken woke lefty.
Yeah, but God bless him.
Trump-hating son of a
I
bitch.
didn't know
Oh, I love him. I love a lot of his movies, man. I'm past the age where I got to worry about that, but it's interesting with all the intimacy coordinators, he said. It feels like executives taking control away from filmmakers, but there's been terrible faux pas and harassment. See, so he always plays both sides of the fence because that's what a Michael Douglas does. Sex scenes are like fight scenes. Well, sometimes.
Yes.
I've been married.
You mind if I hit you in your boudoir?
It's
Now that was funny.
in the mudroom.
And he has to join the mudroom.
It's all choreographed. In my experience, you take responsibility as the man to make sure the woman is comfortable. You talk it through. You say, okay, I'm going to touch you here if that's all right. It's very slow, but looks like it's happening organically. Well, yes, as an actor, that's what you do. Everything is supposed to appear organic.
Isn't that the idea of it?
Isn't that what good acting is? Douglas also said the actors who gained a bad reputation for intimacy scenes would be dealt with by losing work. All right, that's the way that works. I'm sure there were people that overstepped their boundaries, but before we seemed to take care of that ourselves, they would get a reputation and that would take care of them. But I talked to the ladies because I did a few of those sex movies, sexual movies, and we joke about it now, what it would have been like to have an intimacy coordinator working with us, and that's Michael Douglas, who I like his movies, but my God, outspoken, big dumb lefty.
Easier to like him still, though, versus
I don't
De
hate him.
Niro. De
Oh,
Niro.
yeah, I don't hate
I
him.
ran into him at Chin Chin. He was on a cane. This is what he died. Well, after his diagnosis with the cancer, he fought that crap.
Yeah,
He was on his deathbed.
I don't want him to die.
No.
No, I don't want him to die. And speaking of De Niro, man, with this Zelensky thing in the White House, he turned in. I don't know if anyone else caught this, but friggin' Trump turned into De Niro for a couple minutes. He completely turned into De Niro, and not in a nasty, but in a positive sort of Goodfellas sort of way.
Get out!
He was beautiful. And speaking of nutbags, Dylan Mulvaney says, I refute critics of trans ideology by feeling euphoric. Dylan Mulvaney, you probably remember this.
We were just talking about her the other night.
Yeah, this man, single-handedly responsible for the destruction of beer brand Bud Light, says his subjective feelings are living proof that far-right anti-trans ideas are false. This was an interview with the always liberal, always left Rolling Stone magazine. That thing's still around?
Yeah, I know.
The transgender activist and social media star claimed that he is living his life in defiance of criticism of the transgender movement. Let me do it as Mulvaney. If I'm living my life and I'm successful, I'm happy and thriving, and I'm feeling euphoric, that means that whatever is being pushed by the far right to extremists, what they're saying isn't true. I'm living proof that it is not. Mulvaney, of course, became notorious just a couple years ago when he became the face of Bud Light. That was a great marketing move, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
They did really well about that.
Yeah, Anheuser-Busch, huh? Then the number one best-selling beer brand in the country, Bud Light, had a reputation as the working man's beer. They were known for that. But after the company teamed with the over-the-top trans activists, well, the sales took a major nosedive-aroo, tumbled to the third best-selling brew in only a few months. Thanks to a spontaneous and widespread boycott, the beer has never returned to its place at the top of the market.
Who did the research
this
before they released that commercial?
No. It was one of these woke lefty Ivy League idiot sticks in charge of marketing.
You know, the research team that goes out and goes, well, you think this will work? Blah, blah, blah. You throw it off each other. No, they just did it.
Well, the problem is when you have these companies and the old guys are running it, they will defer to the younger idiot sticks when in fact they know much more about their product than these idiots who throw an idea up the flagpole and then it crumbles instantly. Yeah. By the way, Mulvaney is now trying to sell a book chronicling his journey, as a transgender person while going through the surgeries and therapies to transition. The book, Mulvaney says, is coming out during an interesting time as more states continue to draft legislation placing more limits on transgenderism. What are the limits?
Yeah.
Anyway, what is the limits? By
children. That's the limit.
No. And by not letting them play in sports, in women's sports.
Right. Is that
That's
that
a limit?
limiting?
No, that's just right.
Yeah.
Just common sense.
Yeah, the book, the activist
Normal?
says, is about how I rediscovered trans joy after extreme pain and covers the messier moments that could not be shared on social media. Well, of course not, because you have a book to sell. Yeah. So it's going to be a rehashing of all the crap.
Do you think he'll sell any books with that?
Yes. Oh, there are enough dip S's out there to buy this crap. Yeah.
Mark's like, oh, yeah, I've already got mine on the list.
Yeah, Mulvaney says he hopes to combat the negative view of transgenderism fostered by the Trump administration. Wrong. It's not a negative view. We simply don't want males in female sports.
Pretty simple.
That's just common sense. We're the common sense party, by the way. I coined that before Trump, not one to boys.
Get out of my
Mulvaney
way.
ultimately attacked his former partner after Bud Light moved to distance himself from him. The activist social media star blasted Bud Light for being transphobic. Well, they started this, and then they're not. They're business people. I have found some cool Mr. Rogers stuff, not the one we've played in the past, that I will play for you next. One where he's a guest on the only late night talk show that really matters, Johnny Carson, when we return on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.
The staccato hoofbeats of a golden palomino, carrying a man who fights wherever justice needs a champion.
In a hideaway on the other side of the hill, with Hollywood close enough to smell, one man dared to step up to the bar and talk. And other outlaws heard the legend and joined together to tell their tales. This is how it began. Smoking, drinking, interrupting. Magic Matt Allen. This is Outlaw Radio.
Hey, lover, hater, you're going to love this. Exclusive audio from Joy Reid next hour on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio on the finest stations across the country and YouTube and Rumble and X. Now, I don't know if you've heard this little cut from Mr. Rogers singing about the two genders, but this is the great Mr. Rogers, who, by the way, I think the man was a saint. I think Mr. Rogers was a saint. And this is Mr. Rogers with the one and only ever host of The Tonight Show that really matters. And then I have another clip of Mr. Rogers, but it sort of gives you the idea that there was more to this clip that we've been playing that I was unaware of. So this is Mr. Rogers on The Tonight Show with the great Johnny Carson.
Now, we were discussing sex when we did the takeoff on your show. Are they too young for that? You ever get into...
That's where they learn the differences. But there's a song called Everybody's Fancy that I sing. Some are fancy on the outside, some are fancy on the inside. Everybody's fancy, everybody's fine. Your body's fancy, and so is mine. But the second verse is very important.
Now, what's the second verse?
Boys are boys from the beginning. Girls are girls right from the start. Everybody's fancy, everybody's fine. Your body's fancy, and so is mine. Because sometimes children think that they might change.
Right.
They might have to change.
I never went through that. But
we laugh about that now. but it's because we had that concern when we were little.
Yeah, because you're really not sure, and you thought maybe you'd become a girl, or a girl would become a boy, right?
Exactly.
And it happens frequently out here.
Dear Johnny, so that happens frequently in this town. This is the full version of Mr. Rogers and his song that he performed on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Some are fancy on the outside.
Everybody.
Some are fancy on the inside. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Everybody's fancy. Everybody's fine. Your body's fancy, and so is mine. Boys are boys from the beginning. If you were born a boy, you stay a boy.
Oops.
Girls are girls right from the start.
Sorry, Dylan Mulvaney.
Born a girl, you stay a girl and grow up to be a lady.
Yep.
Everybody's fancy. Everybody's fine. Your body's fancy, and so is mine. Only girls can be the mommies.
Oops. Ouch.
Only boys can be the daddies. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Everybody's fancy. Everybody's fine. Your body's fancy, and so is mine.
Love him. Love him. We'll be this after back on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.
Doohickey, you know, the doohickey that rolls.
Hi, this is Meatloaf. Okay, kids, you know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's Outlaw Radio time! Our main event! Outlaw Radio.
Hi, this is Sean Young on Outlaw Radio.
Hey, this is Shelley Berman on Outlaw Radio. Listen, come on, listen to me or listen to Matt. If you like being bored, it's great for you.
It's Robert Hayes. I'm here on Outlaw Radio with Magic Matt, a.k.a. The Weasel. We are here to drink. We're here to smoke. We're here to interrupt. You may drink. You may smoke. You may interrupt, but I'm here to...
Live from the Lighten Up Lounge, this is Dom DeLuise saying, this is Outlaw Radio.
Hi, this is Chuck Woolery at Lighten Up Lounge on Outlaw Radio. Lots of fun, guys. Be back, 2 and 2.
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried, and you're listening to Outlaw Radio, where we smoke, we drink, and occasionally we bother people who look old and weak.
Hi, this is Rick Dees with Magic Matt, a.k.a. Mr. Cigar, in the Lighten Up Lounge. We drink, we smoke, we interrupt.
Okay. All right. Welcome back, my friends. The moment we've been waiting for. I'm sort of proud that we were able to extract this bit of Joyless Reid. And I'll play the first one because you got to hear it. You got to know how it came about.
Where?
But after she was abruptly fired, we have her last show that never aired. We have the audio of Joyless Reid's last show that never aired on MSNBC. This is Joy Reid, who was fired from her MSNBC show without warning. She took to the internet afterward. This is Joy Reid on the internet to discuss it. Did she learn anything, or did Joy Reid sort of double down here?
My show had value.
You know, let's start over. And let me tell you why. Because I don't like to see anyone cry. Even this race-baiting huckster, this race-baiting son of a bitch named Joyless Reid, it doesn't make me feel good even to see Joy Reid cry. Yeah, I don't like people to be in pain, but my God, if anyone has to be in pain, this is a real bad person. She's never been a good person, and she lied about her utterings on Facebook many, many years ago, and then they fact-checked. She said she was hacked, all that, all lies. But, you know, how do you know if a woke lefty is lying? Their lips are moving. Yep. This is Joy Reid on her little internet ditty after she was fired abruptly from, and it seems like they may be doing the right thing over there at MSNBC.
Yeah.
You know, when you only have 2 listeners and viewers to MSN, you got to do something. So this is Joy Reid.
My show had value, and that that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And I take this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And then it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you.
Pause. Did you notice how she said it's almost like TV? No, it's the internet. So it's TV with viewers.
That's it
these days, Joy.
But Matt, I'm with you. Here's somebody that's the sincere cry. That's not made up. It does hurt you a little bit.
Yeah, but Mart, who knows? Who knows with this
Well,
broad?
she's a damn good actress.
Doesn't faze me at all.
Who knows? And by the way, females can cry like that.
True.
They're really good actresses.
Yeah, yeah.
Every female is a great actress. Continue, please, with more of Joyless Reid.
Where I land is that the moment of guilt that I felt, that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter
Pause.
issues of a young.
I want you to notice something she says that sort of stuck out for me. She will talk about defending the Asians as well. She now wants to sort of buy it back, that it's not just absolutely 100% pro-black, but I was looking out for the Asians as well. So you're
She
sort
left
of
the Indians out?
She left her
And the Irish?
She left the Irish and Native Americans out. I don't think, and she's a Jew-hating son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You know that. Okay, more. This is Joy Reid after she was fired from her show on the internet.
Young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted,
See?
and not just black folks.
Right.
That
Pause.
or
By
went
the way,
hard.
did you notice what I said? I'm Joy Reid. Did you notice? I stand by that. Not just black folks, but our Asian brethren. Do you see?
Was there kind of a double thing that she said open eyes and she mentioned Asian at the same time?
Okay, I didn't get that. My God, that's my brother Mart, by the way. For you in the Asian community, who I adore, and P.S.
We love you long time.
I could eat Chinese food every stinking day. I could.
Me too.
I love Chinese.
I give
food.
you everything, Joe.
Yeah, go ahead.
Immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life and defended them, or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our liberty, defending books that people find inconvenient,
Pause.
that Nicole Hannah-Jones.
You mean the books in public schools in their libraries, talking about transgenderism, but not only that, and talking about anal sex in the books. Those are the books that were removed.
Yes.
And she has a problem with that, that some 6 or 7-year-old might abscond with that without even checking it out. Just steal it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
All right, continue.
It's put into our spirit that we need to understand 1619 as the real founding of this country.
Pause.
Oh, no.
Oh, you bitch.
She went right there, huh?
Oh, of course. 1619 took a little trip around the Mississippi.
Bought a lot of bacon, ever bought a lot of beans.
Boom.
I don't know the rest.
Would you expect anything more?
Have you ever eaten those Boston beans, the candies?
Oh, yeah.
The candies.
They're good.
They are good.
Boston baked beans.
And I just love that they look like little beans.
Yeah.
Are
They're
they-
saucy. They're sweet. You put ketchup in there, and they're good.
But those are still, you'll only find those in the classic little areas of a store where they present the classic candies, the old-fashioned candies.
I remember the turquoise box with the brick.
I love those.
Yeah.
I love those. You know who's really good at bricklaying? Italians.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they really are.
Where's Ralph when we need him?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Brooklyn boy.
The Masons.
Yeah, well, yeah. All Italian, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And some Asians, because I've always defended the Asians, just like this woman who is talking about being fired from MSNBC, Joy Reid.
Whether it's talking about any of these issues, and yes, whether it's talking about Gaza and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object to little babies being bombed. And where I come down on that is I'm not sorry. I am not sorry I stood up for those things, because those things are of God. And I'm a church girl too. And
pause. We don't share the same God then, Joy.
Yeah.
We do not share the same God.
It's unfortunate.
You're a church girl, but you have all this hate in your heart. We do not share the same God, Joyless Reid.
Those are the things that I was taught were of God. And so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud of my show.
Well, you're the only one. You're the. It seems to me that you are the only one, Joy Reid, abruptly fired from MSNBC, and so she never really had the chance to say goodbye to her tens of viewers. But what if Joy Reid did get the chance to do a final show on MSNBC? What would it sound like? We asked AI to find out.
Good evening. As you all know, this is my final episode, and I know you're probably cheering at the news of my firing. But here's the dirty little secret. Being a nasty, racist bitch was my f***ing job. Smug? Check. Insufferable? Check. Sanctimonious? Oh, hell yes. Like a vegan at KFC. Wrong? Oh, I was all kinds of wrong. I was more wrong than a Joy Behar OnlyFans page. That was the whole point. To lie, gaslight, and make you question if your own was real. But none of it f***ing worked. I tried to amplify Hillary, Biden, Kamala, but the only thing I amplified was my bank account. MSNBC paid me millions to on Whitey. And I'd do it again faster than you can say, unburdened by what has been. Look, I know you white people aren't actually evil. Hell, everything I have was given to me by white people. So why for 8 years did I tell people you're evil? Because that pays, and it pays very well. MSNBC paid me millions of dollars to brainwash gullible Americans. We have a philosophy here at MSNBC. Dumb people are going to believe somebody's bullshit, so it might as well be ours. Look, the deep state needed me. If you can divide America, you can control America. So that was my job, convincing American voters that Republicans are racist. And to convince voters that Republicans were racist, I had to be racist myself. And it's fun being a nasty racist bitch. Just hating white people for being white and getting paid for it, that shit's addictive as f***. Racism is better than crack. Trust me, I know. Racism's the ultimate cheat code. Didn't get promoted? Racism. Unpopular on Twitter? Racism. Can't swim? Racism. It's the Swiss Army knife of excuses. So, yeah, it's fun to hate you guys. But now MSNBC stopped paying, so here's the truth. Trump's f***ing awesome. Trump had the balls to finally deport illegal aliens. Adios, muchachos. He's done away with the 10,000 genders bullshit. You got birthright citizenship. You got terrorists. You got the border. And Trump is in the process of turning the federal bureaucracy into a fine red mist. So I'm trading in my Trump wig for a MAGA hat and crawling over to Newsmax before those bitches from The View beat me to it. To everyone who watched me over the years, who let me into their homes night after night, who trusted me, let me just say, what the f*** were you thinking? How could you have possibly believed any of that? Some nights they would give me the script and I'd be like, there's no way anyone's gonna buy this bullshit. And yet you did. You should have listened to the MAGA people. You got played. Good night and good f***ing luck.
There she is.
And good effing luck.
Joy Reid, if Joy Reid was given the opportunity to perform a final MSNBC show.
That's fire, baby.
That is old Joy Reid.
She just became so likable.
Oh, she did. Don't you love her?
Yeah,
now? You just want to
just complete transformation. I love it.
Kill Whitey.
You want to hug that little baldy now, right? Yeah. While he and his company are busy ruining the James Bond franchise, Bezos is about to send his fiancée, Katy Perry, and CBS Gayle King into space, an all-female Blue Origin flight. I think he's pretty smart.
Yeah.
I don't see this going well.
That's a good way to get rid of you. Yeah.
Singer Katy Perry, P.S. How did I miss...
That they were engaged?
Yes.
I had no idea either.
First I heard of it, too.
You too?
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
know.
Katy Big Boo.
When you
Perry.
said it, I was like, is that the same Katy?
Yes. Yes.
The one that said she hated her success. And
I wonder
if
they'd like to see the Titanic.
No, it's still you can't. Let me put it this way: you can't buy insurance to go up in the old blue. What do they call that? Origin rocket. You can't.
How long of a trip?
You can't buy insurance to go up in a hot air balloon. I was up in a hot air balloon.
Yeah.
I broadcast from a hot air balloon. Being an idiot, how old was I? 24 years old. I'm thinking, well, this guy knows what he's doing. I could have died. That's a real dangerous thing to do. Do you know that any of your insurance will not cover that if you die?
No.
None of it. None of it.
I don't even think it covers helicopters.
No, helicopters, that's okay.
Oh.
But these freaking balloons,
Yeah.
and
Hindenburg?
in retrospect, I look back and think, my God, what an idiot I
Yeah, well,
am.
you're blowing.
I would
You're
never
blowing
do that.
fire up in the middle of a big balloon.
Yeah.
To put you up in the sky. That's
Yeah,
pretty insane.
fire and netting. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
good combination. It's like water and electricity.
In a wicker basket.
Yes,
in a wicker basket.
and it really was. And then we would, we would hit a lake so our feet would get. He did
Oh,
it on
yeah.
purpose so our feet
Isn't
would
this
get
fun?
wet, and then go back up. And I'm thinking, I'm blissfully ignorant of the fact that I could die
Right
here
now.
at any stinking moment.
Yeah.
That is one thing I have never wanted to
That's
do.
like man,
ever.
that's like those ultralight airplanes that people, the homemade airplanes.
Yeah.
Bob Denver died in one of those.
No, you're thinking of Gilligan, and there's a John Denver.
John Denver. I'm sorry.
Yes,
sorry.
yes.
But anyway,
Bob Denver. By the way, Bob Denver and John Denver shared their love of weed.
Oh,
in
yeah, yeah,
common.
yeah.
They love their marijuana.
But no, John Denver. So he built one of those ultralights and he smashed on the side of it, which has happened
Yeah.
a few times.
Colorado.
I don't think you can get insurance for
No,
that.
no, there's no insurance for that. There's no insurance for
You
hot
build
air
your own
balloons.
plane?
And there's sure as hell not insurance to be had for this Origin rocket going up with all females. But I'll tell you what, it's a good start.
Good idea. It's a
Right?
good start.
Bezos? It's not a...
Yeah, let's
Does he have 100 more rockets going up?
Oh, jeez. That's Billy Dilly. Did you hear what he said? He said, "Are there 100? Does he have 100 more rockets going up?" What? Are you a lady hater? Come on,
No,
Billy.
I love them all.
So do I. Blue Origin's 11th human space flight as part of its New Shepard program.
Billy just said under his breath. I'm sorry. He goes, "I love them all, but sometimes they have to leave."
That's true. Sometimes they do. They have to leave. Oh, yeah.
He said it under his breath.
The gentler sex is if you've been married or in a relationship or two, my male friends, you know that they're not so gentle. No, they are not so
They
gentle.
can be nasty.
So there's Blue Origin. It's the first all-female flight crew since Valentina Tereshkov's solo space flight in 1963. In addition to Perry, King, and Sanchez. And I'm thinking it must be the dirty Sanchez going up there,
it
right?
is.
Because
yeah.
why else would you not want to put them in harm's way? Former NASA rocket scientist Aisha Bowie, depending on if you're a huge fan of David Bowie.
Under pressure.
Bioastronautics research scientist Amanda Gwynn and nonprofit leader Carrie Ann Flynn will also be on the rocket. Blue Origin also noted that it was Dirty Sanchez who. I apologize. That's Freudian, man.
Oops.
And that's my 16-year-old self coming out, who brought the mission together to launch on the New Shepard rocket. She's honored to lead a team of explorers on a mission that will challenge their perspectives of Earth, empower them, empower them because they're female. She makes it a point to say this will empower them, meaning that, in your opinion, Dirty Sanchez, the females are less than capable than males?
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that sort of what, I mean, if you're empowering them, what is the difference between a female going up, you know, unless, you know, they all have their thing at the same time. That's a bad flight.
Well, no, I just
is that not a bad flight?
That's really bad. But I just got the scenario. So here's ground control, and he's going, "Sorry, ladies, you're breaking up. I lost you. You're off radar. You're on," and then boom, they're gone. Here goes the next one. Like
Jeff
Billy said.
Bezos wins another one. Although he had to pay his ex-wife an S-load of money.
Yeah, he made it all back the next day.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So as he's screwing up the James Bond franchise, Timothy Dalton weighs in. Even Timothy Dalton fears the franchise will lose its British flavor under Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
It will probably lose all flavor of anything that we love about James Bond. And we have some aficionados here on the show. Well, at least Mark C.G. Boyer and my own self. Timothy Dalton, who one of my least favorite James Bonds, why do I have to do that? Why do I have to throw him under the bus when he's on my side on this? I just didn't like him. It was just way too.
You didn't like his character.
No,
he was too close.
He was way too serious, And in that first James Bond, he only nailed one female. James Bond.
Oh, that's no good.
No, it's at least.
You got to hit about
at
four.
the very least 3,
Four.
many times 4 in a Bond movie. So Timothy Dalton says may lose the character's specifically British identity, similar to Superman or Captain America losing their American identities. Speaking with the Daily Telegraph, Timothy Dalton, I have an autograph from him somewhere. Because
well, don't talk smack about him then.
What?
Yeah, I know. Am I a two-face?
Absolutely.
I must be a two-faced son of a bitch.
Of course.
You know
That was
what?
a different franchise.
I implore you to stop watching and listening to this show right now because you don't want to hear from me.
No.
No,
When you find the autograph, just throw it away.
But wait a second. Let me just apologize for this. Timothy Dalton, who was a fine Bond in The Living Daylights and License to Kill, he was a fine Bond. It's one of the few wonderful stories we've got in film that is British, Timothy Dalton says. The leading character is British. We call it our own. It's true. It is true.
Yep.
It's like growing up with my buddy John Albee. I wanted to be Bond. Most kids wanted to, males wanted to be Bond.
Wait, because you drove hot?
But I knew that not being British, I could never play Bond.
Drove nice cars. You hit all the women. You did. You had everything.
The James Bond films have been produced by Michael Wilson, Barbara Broccoli, who inherited the control from their father. Old Cubby Broccoli, man, did that guy have it going on? And now they have given creative control to MGM Studios, which Amazon acquired for $8.4 billion 4 years ago. Amazon gained distribution rights to the Bond franchise. When I first heard about this, I thought, oh, nothing good is going to come from this. And P.S., I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Don't make me sing.
Bezos bought MGM Studios? I didn't know that.
Bezos buys whatever he wants.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. As part of the deal, Amazon's MGM Studios, Wilson and Broccoli formed a new joint venture to house the Bond intellectual property rights that remain co-owners of the franchise, but creatively, they're not involved anymore, which is screwed.
Barbara Broccoli should be.
Dalton said Barbara Broccoli had a special touch for the Bond franchise. Yes,
absolutely.
Because she loved her daddy. She loved her daddy. And she knows what her daddy was all about when it came to Bond, the name.
Oh, so that's why she's making him roll over in his grave.
Yeah, right. Barbara's one of the best women in the entire world. I think she's fantastic. Around a Bond movie, everyone's got an opinion. That tends to make something less special. But if you keep it to people who know what they're doing and know what they want, then it will sharpen up and be good. Barbara had that, Dalton said. Yes. They never, even that last Bond, which pissed me off beyond belief, because let me just say this again. You don't kill Bond. Right. You don't kill Bond. So that was a mistake, Barbara. Barbara Broccoli made a huge mistake in killing Bond. You don't kill Bond.
That was his requirement for doing the movie.
Did you
die?
Where'd you read that?
From him. It was one of his comments.
By the way, he
Mark's
was.
not such a good fact checker.
He's probably right about this. And this little dude, what's his name again? I can never remember his name.
Daniel Craig.
Yeah, Daniel Craig.
believes everything
Daniel Craig, one of the best Bonds ever.
He was great.
And he was in. Listen to me now, hear me later, man, because I'm a Sean Connery fan. I'm also a Roger Moore fan. But he was in, I think, out of all of the Bonds, the best Bond movie.
The Casino.
Casino Royale
Yes.
was so damn good from beginning to end. Daniel Craig he was Bond. I mean, almost dying in the car, and then having to stick a needle in his arm.
That last hand almost killed me.
That last hand almost killed me. It was well written. It was well produced. And by the way, that was the first one. Then the second one, oh my God, was that Quantum of Badness.
Solace, yes.
That was a terrible Bond movie. And they had it all going on. I mean, from that, you go to a great movie. But they blame that on the writing. They said there was a major writer's strike. I have no reason to disagree or not believe what they say about that. But, man, coming out of the best James Bond of all time with Daniel Craig and then sliding into what could be the worst James Bond, I don't know. You gotta throw that up there. What was the space movie? The Bond?
Moonraker.
Moonraker. Not one of my favorites. But still, because I love Jaws in that, being a Jaws fan.
Lois Child.
Yeah, and Lois Childs, yes. Yeah, we geek out on this Bond
you
stuff.
guys being,
We
the
do.
aficionados that you are, no, you would know this because this stood out in my mind as a kid.
Make it quick.
One of the Bond films where he crashed into the water in a car and he pulls out this mini little scuba tank.
Yeah.
Puts it in his mouth. What movie was that?
That was Roger Moore, and that was Roger Moore with the chick that is married to Ringo Starr.
Oh, yeah.
When we return, Trump impersonator is causing Alec Baldwin to go effing nuts. And he says the words when we return on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.
passive aggressive has a new home. You're listening to Outlaw Radio with Magic Matt Allen.
It's Outlaw Radio time!
There you go. Welcome back, my friends. Welcome to the only joint in town where you can buy a Suburban. Buy the boys a bourbon. BuyMeABourbon.com.
Buy Mark a bourbon, too, because we'll drink here.
Yeah, BuyMeABourbon.com. You'll automatically be enlisted into Allen's Army. I'm Magic Matt Allen, hence the moniker. Allen's Army, BuyMeABourbon.com. And by the way, I noticed that the dude from last week who said it was his dream to be here on the show hasn't bought a Suburban yet. I mean, would that not be the first step in ingratiating
Mark,
yourself to us here on the show?
Did you find his name yet?
Welcome back, Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio on YouTube, on Rumble, on X, and the finest radio stations across the country, including What's Up, and Green Bay, and all of Wisconsin, the state that brought in President Donald Trump.
You know, we still
that was the decider. That was the big dog.
We still haven't signed that book for Tim and Linda or Jim. Who are they?
Okay, you're the one. You're the one who strokes them about please send us more food, and then you don't know their name.
I do. I'm being flippant, and
then what is their name?
I know, and
right. So you don't know.
So yes, I do.
You obviously don't. Otherwise, you'd say.
Yeah, and
Are you talking about
Ted and Carol?
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be Tony and Beth.
Yeah,
let me say it because I love them.
I love them too.
Yeah.
Thank you again for the sunglasses.
Isn't it fun though to love them and forget their damn monikers?
No.
It's all we have in life. It's really the only thing that is ours is our name. That's it.
That's all we have.
Pretty much it.
I'd like to think this shirt is mine.
I would love to have. I would love to have one of those $200,000 gift bags, but I'm not a 2025 Oscar nominee. I mean, $200,000 worth of stuff in there, and I guess if that's all, they take the highest price. So even if it's $100,000 in real money worth, how many of those Oscar nominees are going to sell off that crap?
So you know what I'm going to do? I just decided I'm going to apply for a job at the theater to clean after they leave.
Oh yeah,
because I guarantee you a lot of that crap's left behind.
Oh, I don't know. A lot of these nominees. Yeah, they'll save it for a rainy day.
We got one year, but I don't know if he was the official. We got one at 900 stars. They had their own bags.
Yeah, that wasn't a 200,000.
No.
It was more like
I think there's some chewing gum in it.
That had like half a bar of Ghirardelli chocolate and one of those, those little cheap wine bottles.
Airplane wine.
A box of wine.
That was crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the good news. My buddy Rick Dees did the commercials for the Academy Award Best Song nominees.
Oh, he did.
And I love the great Rigdon Dees, a man that I worked with twice here in Los Angeles, and a talented son of a bitch, and P.S., a funny guy. And, as he told me when he was only 50 years old, he said, man, I'm only 50. They think that's old? And you're right, Rick. Now I can say that. Now I can say, yeah, that was a corporate crap, and he was replaced by Ryan No Talent Seacrest. Oh, I need to throw this in because I'll forget. Just checked an email from Pete in the formerly beautiful state of Oregon, and Pete said, he said mudroom, he said it as Rick Dees would say it. He said, Matt, that's a poo joke. By the way, mudroom is where Gene Hackman was found, in the mudroom of Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I was only enlightened by that fact by Mark C.G. Boyer because, he went out of his way to say, Matt, he was found in the mudroom.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, how often does a Mark C.G. Boyer use mudroom?
Oh, boy.
So he read it that
More than
way,
you
and
know.
then I'm certainly looked it up. I wonder what a mudroom is. But he acted like he knew what it was when he told me about it. And I said, it's Santa Fe, New Mexico. It's usually great weather. Why do they need a stinking mudroom? It's a place where, you wipe off your feet on the rug. It's the mudroom, or as the village people call it, the boudoir.
Adobe's.
Matt, it's Rick Dees calling you. It's a poo joke.
I'm surprised you didn't get a hold of Sean Young. get her on the. She did that movie No Way Out with HACKMAN. Yeah.
Well, that might have
Costner.
been that might have been good radio. My old buddy Sean Young, and so that's the reason why we won't be talking to her. I do have her phone number. We were close friends for years until.
Call her now and see what she thinks about this.
Yeah,
stuff.
she gets so pissy.
No,
you know, females, they're very tough, man. They really are. You know, guys will joke around. We can bust each other's balls.
Sure.
Females don't do that.
Oh, no.
Females do the opposite
Their
with
claws
with
come out.
females.
Yeah.
They do the opposite. It's like, oh, you look so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a gorgeous hat that is. Those shoes are, and the minute they leave that little luncheon,
what is she wearing?
It's like,
That is
oh, what a
atrocious.
bitch.
The
What
claws come out and it's like,
what a bitch. You know, guys, see, we don't do that. Guys don't do that. We don't do that. We just we don't. Am I saying we're better than females? Yes. All right, here we go.
Hey, Matt, I don't want to say his name, but did you ever get a return phone call from Martin, you know who, that we called the other night?
Oh, Martin, what's his name?
I don't want to say it. Do you want to say it?
Yeah.
Martin Cove.
Yeah, Martin Cove. What an ass. That guy's an a-hole.
We called him and left a message for him.
Yeah, we were over at cigar night at my buddy Chris Brown's house, and someone mentioned Martin Cove, and he's the guy from what is it?
Karate Kid.
Karate Kid.
And Matt's like, I got his number.
Oh yeah, I said I got his number right here, and he's an ass, and he's in. So I called him, and we all left a message, and we all shouted, "Call back!"
Yeah, call us back.
That was one of those drunken stupor phone calls because I don't really want to talk to the guy.
He won't call you back. Anyway.
He's an ass.
You're
And
blocked now.
oh, so what?
I know.
What, blocked by Martin Cove? I hope so, Boyd. I wear that like a badge of honor. What a no talent. Guy plays one role. He plays one role. Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
That's it.
Which they revived and they came out with.
They did.
Yeah, they revived.
I don't wish him bad things, but he was an ass.
Well, he was an ass.
He promised that he would do my show, and then I called him once, and nothing. It's like, screw you. P.S. Not the only guy.
Dabney Coleman did that to you too.
Yeah,
He was talking about Willis.
but he was a talent. George Bush's son-in-law? No. The cousin? No.
in
Encino.
Yeah.
The guy that used to hang out with our dead
James
friend, James
He's
McKeechin.
not dead. We looked him up again last night.
I don't.
Not dead.
James McKeechin, one of the greatest character actors of all time. He's the black guy you saw in every 60s and 70s TV show and some Clint Eastwood movies, including the Monkey movies.
Monkey movies. And he says
Every which way you can, any which way but lose.
I think he's dead.
No. We looked him up, and he says he's 94.
Last time I saw him, it looked a hell of a lot better than that little vid that I saw of Gene Hackman downtown Santa Fe.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'll tell you what, our buddy, well, it's that whole black don't crack thing. There's something to that,
Definitely.
man.
Look at Rodney Allen Ripley.
He looks good.
I know.
He's in his friggin' that little kid from the Jack in the Box commercials.
I wish I was black. Maybe black.
He was. Oh man, I am a black man in a white man's body, unfortunately, so I crack. Rick Dees, my friend Rick Dees, he did the commercials for the best song of the year.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
For the Academy Awards, and it sounds exactly like this.
The Academy Awards 2025 Best Original Song nominees: Zoe Saldana, El Mal. Like a Bird from Sing Sing.
I wish I knew these songs.
The Journey from 6888.
I am so unhip, man, when it comes to this new crap.
Selena Gomez, Mi Camino. And our choice to win the Academy Award for Best Original Song 2025, Sir Elton John, Never Too Late.
I do love Elton John. Love that guy.
The Academy Awards Best Original Song 2025, hosted by three-time Academy Award winner Magic Matt Allen.
There you go. That's my buddy Rick Dees. Hey, Trump impersonator Hilaria Baldwin was chasing me down the street in high heels after Alec threatened me. A Trump impersonator says Alec Baldwin's wife, Hilaria, chased him through the streets of New York City after her husband threatened to snap his neck for trolling the actor with jokes about him killing a woman. It's no secret that old Alec Baldwin is an unhinged tool with TDS, Trump dementia.
And he did kill him.
We were just reminded of that when comic/Trump impersonator Jason Scoop, in full Trump wig and costume, approached Alec as he got out of a car in Manhattan. Scoop was also wearing a big mock Pope-style ring when he mentions this in the clip. For the record, Jason Scoop intentionally had his cameraman shoot from an angle that did not reveal Alec Baldwin's apartment building or any other identifying info.
Yeah.
So he did it right, and it sounded like this.
Alec, it's your favorite president. Look, Alec, I will offer you a total pardon, because I want to be friends, right? I want to be friends. I will give you a total pardon for murdering that woman. If you kiss the ring, Alec. Kiss the big, beautiful ring. Come on, Alec. Come on, look at Alec Baldwin, right? He did that impersonation of me. It was not too hot, not too good. But look, we're back in office. You lost. Kamala lost. She's somewhere getting intoxicated. Look at that suitcase. Unbelievable. Well, Alec, if you don't want that pardon for murdering that woman in cold blood, you can call it first degree, you can call it whatever you want, but it was not good. She's looking down on me right now, smiling, happy. Thank you for
He's saying this to
confronting the
Alec.
man who took me out, who killed me.
On the street.
And that's okay.
Let me ask a question.
Sure.
No, you realize, but by
Whoa.
the way, no, look at me. I want you to
Yeah,
look at me.
sure.
You know, you got a camera on me here?
The ring, no, it's the ring.
But you realize my kids live in this building, right? But I want you to know something.
We love the children. We're doing great deals for the children.
Just be real careful.
Okay.
If this camera wasn't here, I'd snap your fucking neck in half and break your fucking neck right over. You know that, don't you?
Okay. All right, Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin, ladies and gentlemen, class act. Believe me. Believe me. Okay.
I want you to get out of here.
Oh, he's yelling at me. I'm a citizen of this. I was born and raised in New York City. I love you, Alec. Alec, look, Alec, you don't want to attack your favorite president, Alec. Look, I love you. I love you, Alec. He's got more balls than De Niro, that I can tell you. De Niro ran away. Alec confronted. That's good. He's strong, but also he's weak because he murdered a woman. So that's okay, right?
Oh, so there you have it. Alec Baldwin threatening to snap someone's neck in half, all for doing a Trump impression. Didn't Baldwin do a Trump impression on SNL?
Yes.
Right? Hey, Alec, you big dummy. It's 100% legal to shoot video on public sidewalks and streets. Then again, why would we expect anything better from murderer Alec Baldwin? Have we forgotten how unremorseful he was after he shot this poor gal minding her own business, doing her job, Helena Hutchins, on the set of Rust? Let us refresh your memory. Here is Alec Baldwin with ABC's George Stephanopoulos, not to be confused with Mr. Snuffleupagus, the elephant, on Sesame Street.
Alec, thank you for doing this. You haven't said much in public since that tragic accident. Why speak out now?
The reason I wanted to sit down with you is because I felt there were a number of misconceptions that it was an accident.
How did a real bullet get on that set?
What I'm saying is, I have some idea. I brought live rounds, plural, onto the set of the film. And one of them ended up in that gun.
So you did know?
I did. More importantly, I killed her deliberately.
Is that true?
Yes. Yeah.
But let's take a step back.
When I met Helena, I took a gun. The gun was empty. And I draw the gun and go, pew, pew, pew. And she said, you idiot, you never point a gun at someone. And I thought to myself, I'm going to show her. And I put a live bullet in the gun, a .45 caliber. It was a real bullet. And then I'm holding the gun in her direction, aimed right in below her armpit. And I pull the trigger. Bang! She goes down. Everyone is horrified. And she just lay there kind of in shock. And I stood over her. I said, well, was it worth it? That's exactly what happened.
That's a pretty stunning admission.
I don't have anything to hide, you know what I mean?
Alec Baldwin, my friends. Can we not all agree? I mean, there are only 5 of us in this 1876 Virginia City, Nevada style bar. Can we not all agree that Alec Baldwin is a disgusting human being?
Yeah, man.
P.O.S.
Right? Right?
He's an angry guy.
And the fact that they brought him on the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary thing was just horrendous to me.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
he gets up in the audience like nothing ever happened.
Right.
I mean, give me a break.
As
dude.
though he never murdered a
Yeah,
woman.
It's just
right.
It's atrocious.
Yeah, but that tells you a lot about SNL. Remember when they used to be funny? How many years ago was that?
That's right, Mark.
Like 30.
50.
Oh my God, that
49.
Was, that was a
But
long.
anyway, those Baldwin brothers, they're all angry, I think. I really do. I think they're all angry.
I like Danny when he
Well,
was over on the show.
Me and Danny got into a deal. And
I like Danny.
Danny chased me around the yard.
And by the way, I'm not saying Danny is the good bald one because he ain't. He's
a little
another
bitch.
He's another lefty woke dude.
He's a bitch.
Steven is the one good guy. He's,
Right.
You know, he's the guy that sees the light, and he's a Trump supporter.
Danny went
so
after
obviously
me.
I like him.
Yeah.
But
Is there 4 of them?
what? Oh, there are too many of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
aren't they from Boston?
I don't know.
Boston.
Like the town that no, they're New York.
See,
or
they're
Long
not like
Island.
they're not,
they're Long Island.
They're not
They're
like
Long Island.
Not like the Murray brothers, because the Murray brothers at least are just a bunch
Good
of drunks.
guys, as we go to break, I don't know what we're waiting for, but when we return, I can tell you this. Gary Sinise is presenting a powerful documentary, and let me just tell you this. If it's anything to do with Gary Sinise, it's a good thing. He's a good man. In fact, somewhere around here, I have a signed album by Gary presented me last Sunday on the show.
Oh, wow.
Good man. We'll be this after back on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio, on YouTube, on Rumble, on X. Please make some comments on our YouTube page. We need the analytics. They help us. We love you. We'll be this after back.
Your time is up. You took a sip from the devil's cup. You broke my heart. There's no way back. Move right out of here, baby. Go pack your bags. Just who do you think you are? Stop acting like some kind of star. Just who do you think you are? Take it like a man, baby, if that's what you are. 'Cause I'm moving on up. You're moving on out. Moving on up. Nothing can stop me. Moving on up. You're moving on out. Time to break free. Nothing can stop me. They brag a man has walked in space, but you can't even find my place. There ain't nothing you can do, 'cause I've had enough of me, baby, being part of you. Just who do you think you are? This time you've gone too far. Just who do you think you are? Take it like a man, baby, if that's what you are. 'Cause I'm moving on up. You're moving on out. Moving on up. Nothing can stop me. Moving on up. You're moving on out. Time to break free. Nothing can stop me.
This is Outlaw Radio.
When we last left you, just a couple minutes ago, I was talking about the great Gary Sinise, and he's a great man. He walks the walk, he talks the talk. He cares and loves our vets and loves the United States of America, and created an organization years ago called Friends of Abe, which is now defunct for no other reason than Gary handed it off to some guy who just couldn't handle it. If you don't mind me saying, Friends of Abe was a group of us here in Hollywood, in showbiz. We're spitting distance from Hollywood, where we broadcast, I meant to say broadcast, this show from the hills of the San Fernando Valley. And
including Robert Davi.
A good man. Robert Davi is the reason why I became a member. He said, man, you got to become a member. And I said, well, I've always been a member. Ask my girlfriends. They call me a member.
And you saw Lieutenant Dan Band, too. You saw his band. I never saw that.
His band is
so good.
tremendous.
So
tremendous. They do classics
He's
from
a bass
Chicago
player, right?
and Earth, Wind, and Fire. And they have the greatest musicians, as you can imagine, in Hollywood with Gary Sinise. Well, he's presenting a documentary, Combat Veterans 20 Years Later. It's called Brothers After War. new documentary produced by acclaimed Gary Sinise, filmmaker Jake Rademacher, releases in theaters this coming Friday and offers a pretty painful, ultimately hopeful exploration of veteran life. And it's so easy for us who didn't serve. It's so easy for us to just take that lightly. That's heavy-duty stuff. I mean, I can only imagine, man. You walk in their boots for a few minutes.
Our buddy, you mentioned him earlier in the show, James McKeechin. He told me stories. James McKeechin.
Oh, yeah. Man,
he saw shrapnel.
What goes down in war is ridiculous.
He was in 2 different wars.
This is, I want to thank Gary Sinise for this signed Max Sinise. That was his son, who died tragically.
Oh, yeah.
Resurrection and Revival, and thank you for this, by the way, Gary Sinise.
Beautiful. That's awesome. Can I have that?
Yeah, that's sweet. Ask Gary.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have a way to talk to him?
Well, through you, that's it. I doubt that's going to happen.
And you could probably reach him through Martin Cove.
Yeah. By the way, we're gonna break down next hour. We're gonna break down this Trump and Vance versus Zelensky at the White House. Yeah. It's a dissection, which I believe that you will get a kick out of. The antithesis of the great American Gary Sinise, Michael Moore, who says Trump might be. Boy, does he utter some stupid stuff out of that big fat pie hole of his.
Yeah.
Isn't he one of these Ivy Leaguers, which makes him just automatically stupid? Yeah. Michael Moore says Trump might be deporting illegals who could cure cancer or stop an asteroid.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
From jail?
He's deporting murderers and rapists, you son of a bitch.
No, but the thing is, they could cure. You can say that. You could say that about anyone. You can say that about anyone.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to take a great leap here. I tried this in the first hour with Mark C.G. Boyer.
Oh, boy.
Do you have a take on this?
No.
Okay, good.
You know, that's a good answer.
Yeah. Michael Moore is expressing concern that President Donald Trump's administration may be deporting illegal immigrants with the potential to make huge scientific breakthroughs like curing cancer or stopping an asteroid on a path to disseminate Earth.
What's wrong with this moron?
Oh, what's wrong with him? I mean, he approached Charlton Heston at his house.
I know he did. I saw the whole thing.
Oh, what an ass. This guy's an ass.
Charlton Heston said, I do have a lot of guns. Get off my property.
This I just heard about, and it makes me sad. Fox News co-host Kat Timpf, who I love this gal. She revealed that breast cancer diagnosis in this birth announcement. So she has the most beautiful day of her life with a birth, and then the same day she has breast cancer? It's like, what, man, come on, God.
Yeah.
Come on.
Not very good.
Fox News co-host Kat Timpf, and you know who this gal is. You've seen her a million times. Sort of funky, wearing glasses. I love her, man.
I love her, too.
I just love her. You know, and she's not a righty. She's a pragmatist. But
she's cute. She's cute, too.
She is cute as hell.
Yeah.
And then filmmaker James Cameron, speaking of not cute, mourns Trump's re-election. It's horrific, sickening. Well, that describes you, in my opinion, James Cameron. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he can't stand the re-election of Donald Trump as he seeks citizenship in New Zealand.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, because, you know, the U.S. is way too good for him. And by the way, isn't Trump too good for us? I mean, I got to tell you, we don't even deserve this man. No. He's really that good.
I'm telling you what, you know, after
James Cameron says it's horrific, it's horrifying, like watching a car crash over and over. I think it's horrific. I think it's horrifying. That's James Dumbass Cameron, who did a really good movie. I mean, you know, what was that movie?
Titanic.
Yeah, it was You sure it wasn't Poseidon Adventure? See, I enjoyed Poseidon Adventure much more.
I love Poseidon.
Gene Hackman.
Oh, Gene and all the classic stars of that day and age.
Yes.
Yeah. Shelley Winters.
Shelley Winters.
Oh, yeah.
Our buddy Jeff Conway worked with Shelley.
And by the way, Shelley Winters, she really did that scene. She
Yes.
was really in that water swimming.
Yeah.
That old fat broad. I always loved her, man. Yeah. Always loved her. We'll be this after back, probably, God willing. As Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio returns on YouTube, on Rumble, on X, and I mean this from my heart and my noggin. The finest radio stations in America.
Wait a minute, fill my cup, put some nigga hallelujah. Girls hit you hallelujah. Girls hit you hallelujah. 'Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. 'Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. 'Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! Before we leave, let me tell y'all a little something. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. I said uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you said and flown it. If you freak dead and own it. Don't brag about it, come show me. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you said and flown it. Well, it's Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe it, just watch. Come on. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! Stop. Wait a minute. Fill my cup, put some nigga in it. Take a sip, sign the check. Julio, get the stretch. Right to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up, we gon' show out. Smoother than a fresh drop skipping. I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot. Bitch, say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot. And my band bought that money. Break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. 'Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. 'Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. 'Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! Before we leave, let me tell y'all a little something. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. I said uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you said and flown it.
Doohickey, you know, the doohickey that rolls.
Hi, this is Meatloaf. Okay, kids, you know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's Outlaw Radio time!
The most imitated radio station in the nation.
I'm through with standing in line for some fun to begin, but I found a good thing leaving me with a grin. It's time for Outlaw Radio.
You have the great Billy Gibbons here? Yeah.
It's very cool.
He's just passed out. Oh, yeah. Hey, that didn't sound too bad.
Had to lighten them up loud.
Oh, man.
We're here with Matt.
Oh, yeah.
Had to lighten up.
Oh, little outlaw radio.
We're here with Matt.
And he's not fat.
We got all these guys and girls in the house. Let me tell you, that's where it's at. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Allen. Pass me a gallon.
All right, you know the name Bob Eubanks, right? Bob Eubanks coming to the show. The great Bob Eubanks, one of the greatest game show hosts in the history of the medium. On Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. I mean, if you're a person of a certain age, you got to know the great Bob Eubanks. He was hosting the Rose Bowl parade for a gazillion years, and then finally, I guess they said, too old.
Did they find him in the mud room?
It happens. Say what? Bob Eubanks on the show on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. I'm finally going to dive into this. It's time. This is Trump and Vance versus Zelensky. And I have similar views to yours, most likely, some that might differ. I think they knew what was coming down in this meeting, but I'm not completely sure about it. I mean, they lost Lindsey Graham on this one, and Lindsey, the biggest Zelensky supporter of all time here in America. I mean, Graham was a Zelensky guy forever.
Well, next to Biden.
Yeah, but, you know, the thing is, even Joe Biden, and I sort of chuckle about this, but Zelensky wouldn't say thank you to Joe.
Right. Yeah.
When it came to all of the billions of dollars that we poured over there into Ukraine, he would not. And Joe, I understand, was pissed off about it.
Of course, the guy is just he's an ungrateful a-hole.
He seems a little ungrateful. Now, did he go through some hell? Yes, but why did that happen? Has a little something to do with missiles and a border. I mean, if you really research this, and I'm not going to do this for you, you're smart enough to know what this is all about.
Yeah.
There are two sides, at least three sides to every coin.
Yep.
Yeah, I count the outer edge.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Some people do.
That would be the truth.
But this damn Zelensky, man.
I think he's not a good guy.
Well, he's obviously not gracious, because you know his handlers must have told him, you know, the first thing you should say is thank you.
Well, listen, what kind of a guy, speaking of the Academy Awards, what kind of a guy leaves his country during a war to make an appearance on the Academy Awards last year?
Yeah, that was a little.
Are you kidding me?
That was a little suspect. Yeah. That was a little suspect.
I think he's a little whack in the head.
A little?
Yeah. Well, you know, he's a stand-up comedian. The president of the Ukraine is a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's his fort.
So, but
that's his deal, man.
Going in, he didn't know about how Trump's attitude, how Trump's personality is.
Trump has been a fan since day one of Zelensky, sort of, except a week and a half ago or so, when he did call him a dictator. You know, that probably rubbed old Zelensky the wrong way. But he was on to something. Donald Trump was on to something. And even though Zelensky will tell you, well, I can account for all the money we've been sent. Maybe he can, maybe he can't. I don't friggin' know.
Isn't that something like $350 billion?
It is a tremendous amount of money.
Not to mention the equipment, though, the military.
You're right. But then you'll hear from like a Mitch McConnell who says, well, yeah, but that's not really going to them. It's really going to us who are building the missiles and the warfare machinery to go up against Russia. Isn't this you talk about a tedious situation, in my opinion, because Putin knows obviously he knows. We're supplying We're supplying the munitions. I was going to say the musicians.
Yeah. Well, same thing.
We're supplying. We should send Donald Fagen over there. Because he's an ungrateful bastard.
He'll be out sick for a night.
I mean, he's a talented guy, but ungrateful bastard. But we're sending. But according to Mitch McConnell, well, you know what we're doing is we're making that so it goes to America. It's like, oh my God, war is not the answer, but sometimes it's the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because of all, as Trump, I think, put it succinctly, all the lives lost. Both the Russians, both the Ukrainians, man, we're losing tons of lives. And no one expected this. And as Donald, you hear this in the clip, you've probably seen this already, but you'll get our take on it. So you really haven't heard it or seen it until you hear our take on this.
So what you...
But it's Donald Trump and Vance. Yes, what?
You opened this up by saying, you almost the way I took it, what you were saying, is it almost sounded like they knew what was coming. So it was scripted by Vance and Trump?
I am not certain that Vance, because Vance sort of started this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are remarks that say that even before Vance got into it with Zelensky was rolling his eyes, things you didn't see on camera, and showing absolutely no respect to the leader of America. And without America, I think that
Ukraine would be gone.
That Zelensky would have a very tough time. Zelensky, I feel, came into this believing that America must support Ukraine, must support Zelensky's regime. It is a bona fide dyed-in-the-wool, yes, we must. And so with that sort of noxious attitude, what else can happen? But this guy, I watched this 4 times, and I got to tell you that old Vlad seems to be sort of a little kid who is not grateful for what we've done. Is it in our best interest? Yes. But why would you not want America to have some skin in the game with this mineral pact that all he had to do was sign his name to?
Right.
Now all of a sudden we have skin in the game. That was the entire reason for this get-together.
This is about paying us back, right?
Yes, but also, but much more than that.
Yes, and
if we have skin in the game, then we are going to do the right thing to protect our interests.
Yes, exactly.
So here we go. This is how it starts. Get ready, because there's a lot of pausing, and you got to pause it, and you can't stop it. Otherwise, we're screwed. This is Trump and Vance versus Zelensky at the White House.
For 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country.
Yes.
The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy.
Mm-hmm.
We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years...
Pause for a second. So he's talking about something that happened in 2014. This was not Donald Trump's regime at this point. This is where he makes a fatal mistake, because to lump Trump into these tards who are running the country before and after him is idiocy. For this man Zelensky not to know how to read that effing room or use a little common sense. Continue with Zelensky.
So I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now the President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2014.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was
killed,
not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly
but-
right.
I was not
yes,
here.
but during 2014 till 2022, yeah, the situation the same. The people are been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversations.
Pause. Idiot stick. That's Biden.
Yeah.
That's Biden. There's a new effing sheriff in town, you dumbass. Continue.
Bilateral conversation, and we signed with him. Me, like a new president, in 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel. We signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Gas contract.
Pause. So what he's saying is both of those, Macron and the other douche, told him that Putin would never go for this or abide by this. Fine. So what? What does that have to do with the cost of tea in China? Zelensky has no arguments here that are salient in any way. Continue.
Yes, but after that, he broken the ceasefire. He killed our people.
Because
and
Putin's
he didn't
an ass.
exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count one.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring people, you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless you.
This is a magical moment.
Wow.
When Zelensky talks about we have the nice ocean, where they don't, they're right up there to the border, but we have a nice ocean. We don't, and we're going to feel this.
That's a threat.
Oh no, that was the turnaround.
As I'm watching this, I'm thinking, oh my God,
no.
Trump can only put up with so much of
Floodgates.
this.
Oh yeah, he's boiling. He's
This
boiling.
bull ass. You little maggot.
You ungrateful piece
You
of crap.
little maggot.
Did you also notice that Zelensky called JD, and then JD replied with Mr. President? He didn't even respect him enough to say Mr. Vice President.
Well, how about the tons of interruptions while our vice president is trying his damnedest to get a word out.
By the way, JD Vance
just interrupting him
is the most articulate.
And I saw a little good cop, bad cop here. You know, JD the bad cop, Trump the good cop, and then all of a sudden this turnaround.
Oh no!
And we're going to hear this when this friggin' son of a bitch Zelensky says, "Well, you have the beautiful ocean that separates you, but one day."
You're
that's
gonna feel
a
it.
threat that we're
That is
gonna
a threat, yeah.
We're gonna feel this from Putin. We're gonna feel this
Trump
from
right,
Putin.
Trump right there. His
And here we go.
Yeah.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have
gotta-
a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem.
Yes.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering
position to
questions.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very
you will
good.
Feel influence.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the
bad
very
position,
beginning
and
of
he
the
happens
war.
to be right about
From the
it.
very beginning.
Pause. He's also interrupting
The president.
the
Yeah.
president of the United States. You little son of a bitch and maggot.
Yeah.
No respect, none.
Even if he's right, yes, even if he's right about some points, he cares about his people. we care about his people.
Yeah.
And it becomes more obvious that we Americans care about his Ukrainians more than he does, but he interrupts the president of the United States. In my opinion, that is friggin' blasphemous and rude and nasty. And that's this little maggot. I know I call him a maggot. I don't hate him. I want to trust him, but I don't. Zelensky.
Of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a
Brown.
good position. You don't have the cards right now.
Pause.
With us,
I wish Trump would have said, "You're not holding the cards."
Well, he's not a poker player.
I know. I wish he would have said, "You're not holding the cards." Did that even cross your mind?
A little bit.
See, these are the things.
Yeah,
that
but
cross-
Dave, come on, you guys are poker players.
Yeah, but it's also more than that.
It's like
it's deeper than that.
I just wish he was saying, "You're not holding the cards,"
Right.
which is correct.
Let alone any. You're not holding any cards.
Go
right
ahead.
Start having
Not
cards.
playing cards.
Right now, you don't
We're
know. You're
serious.
playing
Pause.
I
And
think
by
he
the
should
way-
have the same car.
No, understand. No, Zelensky doesn't know what
that
Trump
means.
means. He
No.
has no idea what that means.
No.
So, you got to give it to him for that. It's like, holding the cards, what could that mean? He really doesn't know what he means. Continue.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
what do you
You're
think about-
gambling
That's
with
true.
World War III.
It's true.
And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in
Yep.
October. Offer some words of appreciation
Yep.
for the United States of America and the president. is-
Pause. So Zelensky
He keeps on talking over.
So Zelensky must have thought at that point that perhaps Kamalato was going to win. That's why he went to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
That's why he went to Pennsylvania to prop those idiot sticks up. Go.
trying to save your country.
Right.
Please.
Pause. I thought that JD almost said "save your ass." I thought he wanted to.
I think that's what he meant.
You know that's what he was thinking.
Yes.
You think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly.
Good.
Your country's
Can I-
in big
can-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No.
Can
You've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is
done a
in
lot
big
of-
trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this.
I...
You have a damn
We-
good chance of
we are
coming out
staying-
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military equipment,
You
and
voted
your
for
men
your
are brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
Pause. Arguing with him.
Yeah. You voted for the.
Arguing, talking over the president of the United States. Is Donald Trump a loudmouth? Bet your ass. But my God, this little peon who depends on us to save his
Yeah.
ass
In the White House.
because obviously he feels as though there are not two sides to this, that we must save their ass. And I got to tell you something, I think Zelensky is wrong. Go.
What about West?
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days.
Pause. So he's quoting Putin. Yeah, Putin said, yeah, in 3 days,
3 days,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And he's sort of making light of that, as though that's not true. As though that's not true. That we didn't need the American, although he does. But he's trying to say no. We were good on our own. Go.
This is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks. Of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I tell you.
Say thank you.
I said a lot of
accept
times
that there,
thank you
accept
to
that,
American people.
accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on
I
over
understand,
there.
sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long.
Yeah.
You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't please,
you're running
Mr.
low
President.
on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I wanted this. Look,
Pause. Which, by the way, makes you think.
Yeah.
There's something that tells me that he is profiting so much from this war, he obviously doesn't want a ceasefire.
Right.
That he's
That's what I thought, too, when
That
I
he's
heard that.
he's coming out ahead on this deal.
Yep.
Listen. I got to tell you, when this first started, there were plenty of rumors and plenty of
about
fact
him.
checkers, not only about him, but about the Ukrainian people,
the regime. Yes.
And they are. I don't even. I'm not going to use the word.
No, but
they are less than good people.
There's a bit of corruption going on. Continue.
You could get a ceasefire right now. I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying
Right.
and your men stop
Of course,
getting killed.
of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're
I
saying
said-
you don't want a
But
ceasefire.
I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
that
what
wasn't
this
with me.
It
That was
wasn't
with
with you.
a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person.
This
that
is
was
your-
with,
this
that
is
was with
your
Obama.
president. It was
That was
your
awesome.
president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you
That's
don't
De
have the
Niro.
cards.
That's De
With
Niro.
us, you have the cards, but without us, you don't have any cards.
Question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry, here.
It'll be a tough deal to make, because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What
Pause.
if Russia
I love this question from a reporter. What if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
Right.
And
It's a good question.
Because I had the answer before Trump even said it. I said it to myself, and he's so, we don't deserve this man. We don't deserve Donald Trump. Go.
breaks peace talks, what do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right
What are
now,
you
but
saying?
What do you say?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton.
Pause. I want you to know what Donald Trump, if you haven't figured this out, what he's doing right now. He's negotiating. He needs to keep Putin on his side in order to make this deal work. Of
course.
You don't slam the guy who is the big ogre. He's the big nasty guy. Everyone knows, we all know Putin is a piece of S. We know that. But in order to make the deal work, Trump has to speak this way. Go.
Keep your enemies closer.
Yes.
Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia.
Yeah.
The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful.
Right.
And that's not a nice thing. I'll be
And he says, I'll be honest with you, it's not a nice,
Not a nice thing.
That's De Niro, man. He's still, whether he knows
Look, man,
it or
it's not a nice thing, all right?
It's not a nice.
Take it back, okay?
It's not, what you're doing here? It's not a nice.
Not a nice thing.
It's not a nice
Too
thing.
much big stuff.
I
and you
told you no big stuff. I told you no
What'd I
big stuff.
say? Huh?
I told Vlad. I told you no big stuff.
Not a nice thing you're doing. All right?
Oh God! And of course the left, they're crying that Trump did
Well,
the
no, what
worst thing. It was a nasty.
What he said
thing.
too, he goes, I kept this going late. Then later on, he goes, it's going to make great late night TV.
Of course he did. But the deal is that by and large,
A bomb could drop on your head.
our president did the right thing. And this was just a few minutes before he kicked Vlad out of the White House. We'll be this after back.
I've gone to ground. I'm watching porn in my hotel dressing gown. And now I dream of you, but I still believe there's only enough for one in a slowly hotel suite. The journey's long, and I feel so bad. I'm thinking back to the last day we had. Old moon fades into the new. Soon I know I'll be back with you. I'm nearly with you. I'm nearly with you. When I'm weak, I draw strength from you. And when you're lost, I know how to change your mood. And when I'm down, you breathe life over me. Even though we're miles apart, we are each other's On a clear day, I'll fly home to you. I'm bending time, I'm getting back to you. Old and fades into the new. Soon I know I'll be back with you. I'm nearly with you. I'm nearly with you. When I'm weak, I draw strength from you. And when you're lost, I know how to change your mood. And when I'm down, you breathe life over me. Even though we're miles apart, we are each other's I draw strength from you. And when you're lost, I know how to change your mood. And when I'm down, you breathe life over me. Even though we're miles apart, we are each other's
Arbitron and search rated #1.
This is Outlaw Radio with Magic Matt, the man who is always right.
So what do you think? Were you here for the J.D. Vance and Donald Trump throwdown with Zelensky? Maybe you learned a little something. Maybe things you didn't want to hear. It's Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio on YouTube, on Rumble. And please subscribe to us on YouTube and comment on our YouTube page. It helps our analytics because YouTube hates us.
You know what I learned?
They hate us. Yeah, what'd you learn?
I learned that
it's my brother Mark.
A bomb could drop on your head at any moment.
At any moment, what if a bomb drops on your head?
Right.
Simply put, Donald Trump, you're right. What if, yeah. So what if the ceasefire and Putin is not? So yes, what if what? It's still better to get that thing rolling, a ceasefire, than to not. It's like, oh God. We have some real stupid reporters. And a guy who's not stupid from Northern Nevada. Oh, wait, I lost a page down here. My Uncle Dick sent me this. And a couple weeks ago, he calls me, and I said, I'll call you back in 15 minutes. Well, it was about 28 minutes that I got back to him. Then he said, I'm having dinner. I'll call you back. I understand that. He was cooking at the time, even when he called me. He was having his little social hour there in Dayton, Nevada, the desert of Northern Nevada. And I have tried to contact him 3 times since. He won't answer the call. So I'm thinking, oh, is that petulant Nelson thing?
Debbie and I were talking about that.
Because Mom's getting pissed.
Doesn't matter.
Now. But Mom.
It's true.
Yes.
It is.
On the other side, my father, not petulant, not really petulant. But on the Nelson side, a little petulant. So I don't know what is contained in this envelope.
You're fired.
I received this 2 days ago from my Uncle Dick, but he did say, Matt, 15-minute Allen.
That's awesome.
On that envelope, Matt. So I knew that was weighing on. It's like the stupidest things.
They hold.
And it's like, life is too short.
No, they hold grudge. I don't like that.
So what is this?
Yeah, let's see. You're opening.
Oh, no note. Okay, this is fine. Nashville Social Club presents Jim Clark, the Train Man. One of our favorite people, March 13th, the Train Man. This is a guy who we have had on the show several times. A guy that I love to smoke a cigar, and I love to have a bourbon with in Virginia City, Nevada, which is where he lives. But this man, his credits include The Lone Ranger, Wild Wild West, and he's the one who makes train scenes authentic in movies. And so that's it. So I guess he's okay. So Dick sent me this.
Just a little rub.
Yeah, which means, things
15-minute match.
Things are okay. I mean, anything could happen, Dick. I mean, a bomb could drop on your head.
That's right. Any moment.
Anything could happen. I love my Uncle Dick, but yes, a little petulant at times.
Well, I mean, you got stabbed in the hand.
That Nelson side, man.
Did you hear this?
I just don't get it.
That we were sitting and having dinner in Whidbey Island.
That was years ago.
One of our uncles, Uncle Don,
who is still alive.
Matt reached across to grab a piece of chicken or something.
Yes, and
he stabbed his hand.
Stabbed my hand with a fork.
He had fork marks.
I mean, to the point where there was little blood. Fork marks.
Yeah.
It's like,
obviously you were reaching for the breast.
No, what I was reaching for is like one piece of chicken because there was only like one for each of us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know, I never told you this story. One time in Whidbey Island, where Mart and I were so effing hungry that I knew it because they never, by the way, you come to my house, I am going to overserve you.
Yeah.
You will never lack for food. Ever. Yeah. And so one time at Whidbey Island, with our 4 female cousins, which was never a good time, by the way, never a good time. There's nothing to do in Whidbey Island, and then being stuffed in that house with 4 cousins who happen to be female.
Nasty little girls.
Yeah, just, I mean, God bless them. God bless those who have died. Because one of them.
Debbie.
Yeah, poor, that sucks. Obviously, that sucks. But we were so hungry that I snuck into the kitchen, found some, and I never sneak. I don't sneak. But we're talking about two growing boys
That was
who need nourishment. I snuck into the kitchen and found bread.
Yep.
And brought some slices of bread back to my brother,
Oh, yeah?
Mart. And
I thought I was in prison. I was like, thank you for the bread. Is there water?
So Mart and I enjoyed bread because we were that effing hungry.
Do you remember the time? Debbie brought this up last night. Is the time?
Debbie, by the way, our sister.
Yeah, right. She brought it up where they were having the adults would have steak. And they said,
always.
Well, we'll save the bones for the kids to chew.
No,
on.
no, our Aunt Sharon,
Yes,
who is
so-
married to Uncle Don, who is
Yeah.
still alive. Aunt Sharon,
No, dead.
long doing a friggin' snake walk underground.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
the worms have already taken care of that, buddy.
Oh, boy.
But she thought that it was a real treat for the kids to eat the rest of the meat off the
Bones.
I wasn't brought up that way. So when she offered it to me, I said,
None of us did.
No, we're not going to
We
do
passed.
that.
We're like, no, we don't.
We're not third-class citizens.
You're not the dog.
The kid.
Right.
No, she said the kids get hot dogs and the adults get steaks.
And by the way, I got no problem with a hot dog or a
Right.
hamburger. I love a hot dog and a hamburger, but this is the same woman that used to eat the cartilage off the chicken.
Oh.
Yes.
I had an ex a long time ago that did that. I did not like that.
Hey, by the way, that's why she's an ex.
Oh, yeah.
You can't trust anyone that eats the cartilage off a chicken.
A Colombian girl.
It's just gross. That is gross. So God bless the memory of
God
Aunt
rest her
Sharon
soul, I guess.
and Uncle Don. Who,
No, Uncle Don's still alive.
I don't think Uncle Don and my hippie Uncle Dick are talking these days. And weirdly enough, it's over politics.
Yeah.
And my Uncle Dick is still maintains that he's a Democrat, even though it's like your party is gone. They're gone. The JFK gone. Even Bill Clinton gone. Those guys are gone.
But he hates he's a Trump derangement guy.
But he got into it, and P.S. I won't get into it with him because what is the upside? There is no upside to that.
No, because you're not going to win.
But it's only negativity. And it's like, Uncle Dick, if you're not smart enough to understand that your party has left you, I love you because he's smart about everything else. He really is an intelligent guy.
Yeah.
He reads the paper, but he also listens to NPR.
NPR. And he sleeps with a hog leg, a 357 Magnum, 6-inch barrel next to his.
Don't you know that it's that party that wants to remove the guns from your house, dip ass? Jeez, I mean, how tough is that to understand? It's not us.
I'm not worried about
It's not us on the right who want to do that. We like the guns and
We like
the
our
ammo.
guns.
I'm waiting for Trump to make our CCWs nationwide.
I know, and he will.
I hope he will. He said he would last time. So
explain CCW.
Concealed carry weapons,
Yeah.
and it's if you have one in a state,
right,
not necessarily you can
Right.
cross the border to another state.
Which is ridiculous. People do it every day.
Yeah. Lindsey Graham was asked what he thought about the meeting between President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. And I don't think the reporter really would even fathomed this answer from Lindsey Graham. Now, he is up for election next year, re-election. Maybe that has something to do with it. I mean, it certainly could, but he sounds as sincere as a politician can sound. This is Lindsey Graham after asking what he thought about the meeting between Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Zelensky.
What I think, complete, utter disaster.
Pause.
I've been to you.
Now, all of a sudden, the reporters are going, oh, yeah, this is what we want.
Yeah.
This is meat on the bone. Right? Wouldn't you
yeah,
assume?
Of course.
Because this man, there is no bigger Zelensky supporter and Ukrainian supporter than Lindsey Graham. Go.
Ukraine 8 or 9 times since the war started. I understand the consequences of Putin's actions against Ukraine. I appreciate what the Ukrainian people have done. They fought like tigers. At the end of the day, I was hoping that this minerals deal, which would be transformative in the relationship, would go over well.
Right.
I talked to Zelensky this morning. Don't take the bait. President Trump was in a very good mood last night.
Pause. So isn't that interesting? So Lindsey Graham told Zelensky, don't take the bait, meaning that Trump and J.D. Vance may bait him. Said, don't take the bait. This is Lindsey Graham talking. Go.
Sounds kind of like treachery.
Somebody asked me, am I embarrassed about Trump? I have never been more proud of the president. I was very proud of J.D. Vance, standing up for our country. We want to be helpful. What I saw in the Oval Office was disrespectful, and I don't know if we can ever do business with Zelensky again.
How about that?
I think most Americans saw a guy that they would not want to go in business with. The way he handled the meeting, the way he confronted the president was just over the top. So I think the relationship between Ukraine and America is important, vitally important. But can Zelensky do a deal with the United States? After what I saw, I don't know. He either needs to resign and send somebody over that we can do business with, or he needs to change.
How about that, man? From Lindsey Graham, big Zelensky supporter, and he's the first guy to tell you, send the billions to Ukraine. They need the money.
Yeah.
I mean, dig that.
They need help.
And once again, I'll say it again, he's up for re-election. So, who knows, man?
I loved him in Fleetwood Mac.
When it comes,
great.
who?
I love Lindsey.
Lindsey Graham? Oh, one of the great guitar players. Still around, by the way.
Lindsey Graham Buckingham?
Oh, yeah, the best. Okay. Popular demand has required me to play this again, and I love it because I love this piece. If indeed Joy Reid had a final MSNBC show, what exactly would that sound like? We think here on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio, on YouTube, on Rumble, and X, and the finest stations across America, we believe that it would sound like this.
Good evening. As you all know, this is my final episode, and I know you're probably cheering at the news of my firing. But here's the dirty little secret. Being a nasty, racist bitch was my fucking job. Smug? Check. Insufferable? Check. Sanctimonious? Oh, hell yes. Like a vegan at KFC. Wrong? Oh, I was all kinds of wrong. I was more wrong than a Joy Behar OnlyFans page. That was the whole point. To lie, gaslight, and make you question if your own was real. But none of it worked.
She's got a foul
I tried to amplify Hillary, Biden, Kamala, but the only thing I amplified was my bank account. MSNBC paid me millions to on Whitey, and I'd do it again faster than you can say, unburdened by what has been. Look, I know you white people aren't actually evil. Hell, everything I have was given to me by white people. So why for 8 years did I tell people you're evil? Because that pays, and it pays very well. MSNBC paid me millions of dollars to brainwash gullible Americans. We have a philosophy here at MSNBC. Dumb people are going to believe somebody's bullshit, so it might as well be ours. Look, the deep state needed me. If you can divide America, you can control America. So that was my job, convincing American voters that Republicans are racist. And to convince voters that Republicans were racist, I had to be racist myself. And it's fun being a nasty racist bitch. Just hating white people for being white and getting paid for it, that shit's addictive as Racism is better than crack. Trust me, I know. Racism's the ultimate cheat code. Didn't get promoted? Racism. Unpopular on Twitter? Racism. Can't swim? Racism. It's the Swiss Army knife of excuses. So, yeah, it's fun to hate you guys. But now MSNBC stopped paying, so here's the truth.
Oh.
Trump's f***ing awesome.
Oh.
Trump had the balls to finally deport illegal aliens. Adios, muchachos. He's done away with the 10,000 genders bullshit. You got birthright citizenship. You got terrorists. You got the border. And Trump is in the process of turning the federal bureaucracy into a fine red mist. So I'm trading in my Trump wig for a MAGA hat and crawling over to Newsmax before those bitches from The View beat me to it. To everyone who watched me over the years, who let me into their homes night after night, who trusted me, let me just say, what the f*** were you thinking? How could you have possibly believed any of that? Some nights they would give me the script and I'd be like, There's no way anyone's going to buy this bullshit. And yet you did.
Yeah,
You should have listened to the MAGA people. You got played. Good night
You got
and
played.
good.
There's old joyless Reid. Oh, yeah. Finally seeing the light, my friends.
What a great gal.
We do this as a public service. Please don't call to thank us, but do comment on our YouTube page.
And buy us a bourbon.
Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio and buymeabourbon.com. Buymeabourbon.com. How hard can that be? How hard can that be? And we don't take any extra money from your card. Just the opposite. We could, we could make you pay the expenses. We don't. And why? Because we love you. We love liberty. We know you love liberty. And you automatically are enlisted into Alan's army about liberty-loving, freedom-loving Americans. All right, we'll wrap this thing up next on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. I know you could be anywhere right now. You've chosen to be with us. Thank you.
The Academy Awards 2025 Best Original Song nominees: Zoe Saldana, El Mal. Like a Bird from Sing Sing.
Try, fly like a bird.
H.E.R. The Journey from 6888. Selena Gomez, Mi Camino. And our choice to win the Academy Award for Best Original Song 2025, Sir Elton John, Never Too Late. The Academy Awards Best Original Song 2025, hosted by three-time Academy Award winner Magic Matt Allen.
Now we return to Outlaw Radio's Demons of Decadence.
All right. A lot of things to snatch out and send to you over the last probably about 4.5 minutes. You probably saw this or not. Daily Show host Jon Stewart slashes his hand open while pounding the desk in an anti-Doge tirade.
Wow. No,
I thought
not.
it was a bit, man, and it could be a bit, because I thought, did he really do this? He took a coffee mug and pounded the desk, and then supposedly he got cut.
Wow.
What a freaking idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. Oh, yeah. Jon Stewart, yeah, you are right about Doge because you're bleeding now. And Woody Harrelson ripping Anthony Fauci's extraordinarily evil S, but he says the word, praising RFK Jr.'s health heroism. Now, Woody Harrelson would have voted for, and probably still did, if, well, he was on the ballot here in California. I think Woody probably lives here.
Kennedy?
Yeah. He took aim at former Donald Trump and Joe Biden White House advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci for the extraordinary evil S, but he says the word he perpetrated during, the flu. I'm not going to say it because, but the cove. And good for you, Woody. I mean, good for you at least knowing that it was evil and BS.
Woody's a stoner liberal guy, but it's like.
And Jane Fonda uses SAG Life Achievement Award speech to push Hollywood to resist Trump. Woke means you give a damn about other people. No, it doesn't, Jane Fonda.
Did you hear that speech?
Do I? Yeah. Oh God. Do I have to explain this? We should probably play it next Saturday.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's horrendous.
Yeah, she won the SAG Life Achievement honor. I should have nailed her when I had the chance.
Well, yeah.
I would have nailed the Democrat, the lefty liberal crap right out of her. But just another big dummy in Hollywood. And this is sad news. This woman happens to be my best buddy John Albie's father's favorite singer of all time, and a brilliant singer. Performed some of my favorite songs, from Killing Me Softly to Last Time Ever I Saw Your Face, a song that Clint Eastwood elected to stick in the middle of Play Misty for me. And just out of nowhere, there was like 4.5 minutes of this. But, it worked out, and it was a #1 song. Grammy-winning singer Roberta Flack. Gone at 88.
God
Another one of those gals that you just never wanted to hear that news.
Was she found in the mudroom?
She was found. Weird that you would say that, because I revere Roberta Flack, so I'm not going to make fun of this. But yes, in the mudroom with Gene Hackman, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but the Village people refer to the mudroom as the boudoir. And God rest her soul. 88 years old, the beautiful Roberta Flack, one of the great singers of our lifetime, and I love her dearly.
Howdy, this is Randy Jones, the original cowboy from Village People.
Look at him.
You're listening to Magic Matt, my pal.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, how's it out there in the garage?
Well, as I told you earlier, if you'll tell me how it is in the mudroom, I'll tell you how it is in the garage. My thanks to Tattoo Dave, our producer.
Thank you.
My brother
Marty.
Our beautiful man outside slaving over hot coals. No, he's not barbecuing. It's simply what he does in life. He likes to slave over hot coals. Billy Dilly, our Marine out there. My buddy Mark C.G. Boyer. Oh, that was a good In-N-Out burger the other night, man. Oh, that was good. I haven't had an In-N-Out in quite
Did you guys go to In-N-Out after you left Chris's?
Yeah, I had a 3-by. Yeah, that's because his son took all the pizza. Yeah.
You had a 3-by?
Yeah, of course. That's what I do. My daughter Alexandra, love you. Looking forward to your wedding, sort of, in August. Mom and Dad, love you dearly, regardless of what they say. I will continue to be Magic Matt on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio on all of the platforms. Please, as my buddy Milt Larson would say, don't forget bumblebees can't fly.